Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, big up the people, them. Yes, SS, we're back. Finally, we're here, my brothers and sisters. It's been a long time. We've been reporting about this story, and it's been a long time coming. Inshallah, khair, and hopefully, we're gonna make this into a conversation. Big up Askari clan already in the chats. My brother Rodriguez up in the building. We see you early. Big up to all the families, and we do apologize. We've been gone for a little while. 2 months, I know it's been hectic, but I'm gonna wholeheartedly promise you consistency is key. That's the main thing. Consistency is key. So every Sundays, I'm gonna be breaking down any live topic or anything that's been happening across the Somali Peninsula. So yes, big up Joel. I see you, long time family member, family tree in the building. Scotty clan, you got a lot to say. We're gonna break down all of this. So yes, back again. Like we never left. وعنقي وعيقي أضلنا نفهم ونفهم بدون هدينا نبرم ونبرم دون Somali speakers. We're back. Please share, like, and subscribe. And it's the showing card. Let me get into it. I've got one of the links already. It's live. It's popping. Let me put the link in the chat for anyone that wants to join us. The panel's always open. Have your say the SS way. I'm just put out the link right there. And but while I'm putting out the link, see what is going on. Let's see what's going on. Finally, we're back every Sunday. You already know. Home. I know it feels weird because right now I'm dusting everything down. I don't know what's going on. Right now I'm baffed myself. You get me? Khalid, yes. Up to you. We're there. Yeah, man. We're there, man. Inshallah, one children. Now, let me put out the link for everyone. For the people, them again. Don't forget. So this is what's going on. It's live play. I don't know particularly what's going on right now myself. So we're going to dive into it. See what's going on. Hopefully we've got a couple of the links. Let me just put this out there for you guys. Let me just come out and let me sort out one or two things, then I'm going to come back in. But have a look at this, see what's going on, and I'm going to play the audio right now as well.
Senator Abdi Usman Hared wadada hala banayo wadada ay soo marayaan hala banayo please ka habanayaan wadada la soo marayo xildhibaanadu ay soo marayaan wadada xildhibaanadu soo marayaan hala banayo fadlan hala banayo xildhibaan Cabdifataax Cabdullaahi Caraaye xildhibaan Cabdifataax Cabdullaahi Caraaye Senator Cabdixakiim Mucallim Axmed Senator Cabdixakiim Mucallim Axmed xildhibaan Cabdulqaadir Xuseen Cabdi xildhibaan Cabdulqaadir Xuseen Cabdi xildhibaan Cabdulqaadir Maxamuud Dhaqane xildhibaan Cabdulqaadir Maxamuud Dhaqane Senator Cabdiqani Geelle Moxamed Senator Cabdiqani Geelle Moxamed xildhibaan Cabdikariim Cabdow Xaydar xildhibaan Cabdikariim Cabdow Xaydar xildhibaan Cabdikariim Cumar Xuseen xildhibaan Cabdikariim Cumar Xuseen xildhibaan Cabdilaahi Cabdi Moxamed xildhibaan Cabdilaahi Cabdi Moxamed xildhibaan Cabdilaahi Bidhaan Warsame xildhibaan Cabdilaahi Bidhaan Warsame xildhibaan Cabdinaasir Xaaji Shirwac xildhibaan Cabdinaasir Xaaji Shirwac xildhibaan Cabdinuur Cali Aadan xildhibaan Cabdinuur Cali Aadan
Yeah, guys. So obviously we're gonna be streaming this in the background. See which one? Oh, sorry. I got rid of it. We're gonna be streaming in the background. No, I don't even want that one. See which one is it? Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully we're gonna be streaming. You guys can hear me. Let me know. Mic check, mic check. Obviously, all this y'all gotta know what's going on. So you guys gotta let me hear me. But yeah, who am I? You know me. That's a whole different discussion for another day, my brother. LP, that's a different discussion. We're gonna have them type of topics soon coming up. You know, every Sunday. It doesn't want to feel like I know. But today, the main thing we're gonna stick on point. Do you guys actually like this one? Let me know which one do you like. Do you like this one where it's sorry, let me go back. This one, let me know the old school one, but I don't know. I kind of prefer this one where you know where the background is here. Everyone knows what we're talking about, so we can actually break it down. As it's live procedures again, always the link's always in the chat right now. You know what time it is. Join the link to have your say. But for me, hopefully, someone asked me who am I rooting for. For me, as a Northern, I'm rooting for the best person that could hopefully bring stability and peace. But that's a whole different topic, and mainly for me, it's what's the outcome? Who are these people elected? You know, we can see the boy Denny right there. He's got his hand on his head. I don't know what's going on. Like I was saying, I don't know who's in the lead. Hopefully, you know some of the more brothers and sisters that know what's going on, so we can follow it nail by nail. But like I'm saying, so some of the main concepts that I'm looking for is who are these candidates? Like some of the topics I wanted to discuss. Who's got the newest vision? What is up? And the main thing is, from today, what is going on? And I know some we've got the pro from marchers, we've got some of the new brothers and sisters that want other people to actually start speaking, new leadership, some of the old guard is trying to come back at the same time. So yeah, so that's some of the topics I'm willing to look to discuss. But apart from that, again, I'm always my knowledge on the geopolitics, especially in the political scene in the South, very limited. So obviously, I like to give other people their chance to come up and speak. One of my brothers right here, passionate, Rodriguez. Salam alaikum, Sada Woke. Sada Woke.
Wa alaikum salam, Khalid. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Mike is everything.
MashaAllah. Good to see you back, man. MashaAllah. Somali speakers, we back.
Let me know. What do you think? Should we do this one where it's two of us, or should we
No,
do
the other
this
one. The other one.
This one.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
That's perfect. Yes. So, what is going on from what you're aware of? How you seeing this as my brother?
I've been watching it. The first round and the second round done. Alhamdulillah, then he got knocked out the second round, so we're happy for that. So it's Hassan Sheikh and what's his name from Maja in the final.
Okay, so now it's become a two-man race.
Yeah, it's a two-man race now, apparently. Yeah.
Okay, now it's more clear. Okay, are we gonna go backwards or forwards? That's the main question. Yes, 077. I see you, my family. I hear you. Brother, I think brother asked Farmash spent 5 years fighting the roads. It's his fault for kissing up to the Warriors and Hawaiians. What? What do you think about statements like that? Rodriguez.
What's
Some of these statements.
Maja spent 5 years fighting that was his fault for kissing up to her years in Rahaway. This guy doesn't know nothing about siyasat.
I don't know. This is what I'm saying. This is the problem. Sometimes I feel like even me, sometimes as well, like to someone else is trying to come and think their device is not connected. But this is what I say. You know, some of these statements some people make. And again, I think a couple of times we've had this conversation where people can't separate Qabila from what politics is. But we're going to do a topic on that on Somali speakers soon, innit, yeah? Bring up this brother.
Let me just quickly break it down.
Who's this? Mudana Rad. Is that Rad?
Yo, Navarun accent.
Legend. Big up. Rad back in the building. Mr. R, Dr. R, Mudana Rad. I love the name. I love the name change, everything.
It's Mudaina Rad, sir.
Mudana. It's the same thing, like big man, innit?
I just want to give my thought. I want to give my thoughts on the election thing, man. If Sheikh Hassan Mahmoud wins, which is not good, the same shit's gonna happen from 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm worried about. Anyone to do with Hassan Sheikh to win.
مسوق وصوع علنيا واللي كيسو وصوع علنيا مسوق is corruption.
And that's the thing now. In Somali politics, it's becoming basically an ideology thing where people got different ideology and different, alliance with different countries, and nations. Like Hadi, for example, Hassan Sheikh is being funded by Emirates, and once he's back, everything that's Formaggio's done is that for the last 5 years is going out the window. And this guy is going to set up new contracts. He's going to find a way to get rid of Turkey and Qatar. So I can't.
Mr. SM, he said Hassan Sheikh will win. What do you think about this comment up there, Rodrigo? What do you think about this comment? That's
Me,
coming up?
wallahi,
Brad.
when I believe he can win though, because he's got the numbers. Obviously, the only reason he won the second round was because Sheikh Sharif got knocked out in the first round and Utana Sule. So Hassan Sheikh's number just went up because of Sheikh Sharif gave him those numbers. So now, obviously, yeah, he's got a big chance, you know. Because now you got to remember, Denny's gonna give it to him. I don't know who Khair is gonna give it to, but Denny's definitely gonna give it to him. And then he did get some large numbers as well in the second round. So yeah, Farmajo, wallahi, he's got a slim chance. The only hope Farmajo has got is the MPs. Yeah, because the thing is with the MPs themselves, they're not stupid, and this is the time they're gonna think for themselves, because they know during the Hassan Sheikh's regime, they wasn't getting paid, their lives were in danger constantly, you know. But during Farmajo's regime, every MP is actually like become something, like, you know what I'm saying. لعب في عندقاتهم, they become يعني تدلو بهاي قيمة loyal. So now I think they're gonna think, forget whoever's paying us, let's talk about ourselves. Then to the So that's the only hope I have.
Big up, SS Legend back in the building. We see you, Kazi. Family tree. Welcome back. Where is he? Mic check.
Yeah, all gone, man. Long time.
Long time, my family. We're here. What's your thoughts? We want to hear your opinion. What's your thoughts? What you're thinking? What's going on? What have you been thinking? Go ahead, family tree.
Oh, I'm supporting Farmacho, man. I want Farmacho to win. I want stability in the country, and I don't want Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud to come back, because mainly I only support Farmacho because he's not supported by America, by the UK, by the NATO. As long as they don't support him, I'm going to be supporting Farmacho. But the day that they start supporting him, I'm going to be against him. And Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, he's like the European Union endorsed him. So whoever's endorsed by the European Union is not good for Somalia, innit? He's going to sell the country. That's my opinion. Like,
what about the regional implications of, like, in Somalia, in terms of like Amazon, they're leaving like what, in 2024 or 2025 Nalasi Bahaya. If he does come into power, what's the regional implication of this?
Farmacho has been trying to remove the Amazon for his whole term. He's been trying to remove them. But Amazon is forcing itself to stay because it's receiving like 7 billion. Like, it's receiving millions, like, from the.
But the point I'm trying to make is, Wallah, I believe that this guy is going to weaken Somalia, and he's going to undo the work that Farmacho has done. That's what I'm afraid of.
No, I support Farmacho. Don't get me confused. I support Farmacho all day, every day.
This is why I'm surprised some of the Denny supporters that we know, especially Rodriguez and some of the guys that don't want to come up but what happened? Because I'm surprised that this shift, because I remember a couple of months ago it was a very anti-Farmajo sentiment. What's happened? What's made the public change their ways? What do you guys think?
Khalid, that was all propaganda that was being pushed by a lot of the NGOs and mercenaries and Halane and James Swan and all these people.
Yes.
They had a big campaign on Twitter Spaces. They were talking really shit about the government and the institutions. So all this was Wuha Mukhtar. So the people that actually really part of the Shaqoyinka Kuchirans Dowladda, they know, like, literally, like, everything is the way it's supposed to be. Like, literally they're working towards a goal, and that is about self-governance and sovereignty. And they understood this, and the international community literally got upset with Farmajo and the way his regime was moving. And they used these guys. These guys are just tools. Somalia الوسط معانا, and then obviously we're family شكلها ده واحد كوسو ولا أخويو and then doctor or lawyer, and these people are just paid fucking foreign agents, you know, and we just got tired of their bullshit. And this is what I'm surprised that everyone was saying that from the first one we're shocked. Yeah, you know what I'm saying things it never turned out to the way they thought it was, and it's still there now to the final round where he's in the final with Hassan Sheikh.
That's good. That's good. And do you think the problem? Do you think with Do you think people should learn lessons from previous presidents? Like with Hassan Sheikh, a lot of people do have this anti-Hassan Sheikh sentiment. I've got roasted on this app for bigging him up sometimes, obviously. But do you think him coming back, what does that say to the mother Somalia once you've stepped on the presidency?
I'm gonna say one thing. He's
Go
looking
ahead.
out for Cheb Kisa. He's looking out for Cheb Kisa. Let me ask you a question. When he left office, did you know he's got a big massive guri in Turkey? He's got a villa in Turkey. He's probably gonna come back again, do the same old shit, yeah, and he's gonna make more money out of it.
That's good.
Well, I want to say one thing. I'm so happy that you guys are so informed about the situation and that you're so informed about Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, how he's got a villa in Turkey, and how like he's corrupt. And I'm so happy just that you're informed. Like,
oh yes. Did you know he owns an agency as well in Mogadishu?
Okay, for us here, as people that's privileged enough to lived in the diaspora, are we the Hawaiians? You know what they say? There's a famous quote that I go by nowadays, isn't it? Yeah, don't blame a clown for being a clown. The clown's job is to be a clown. Yeah, why do we go to the circus? Why are we putting someone that's I'm talking about all the peninsula from Djibouti. You know, when I talk here, I like to talk from the Djibouti all the way to Galbert to Somaliland. Why innately do we put people in power that how come no other presidents could have assets in other countries and be a president in another country? Like how? Because we gotta remember with Kohoti Bahed, obviously he was a refugee. How did you acquire these assets? How did you get out?
because they received support from the European Union, from America, from the international community as a whole. And then once they receive that support, yeah, then they say, "Oh, I'm legitimate. I can bring deals. I can bring investment to the country." And then they have these big media campaigns like on YouTube, on Facebook, and everything. They pay off young kids, young people, and then they make media campaigns, propaganda for them. And they don't build anything. Like Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, he's always been a foreigner. He never stays inside the country. Like,
even Khaire, bro, my man's got a Norwegian passport, and you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to bring the Norwegian oil companies to Somalia.
Thank God, like you guys are so informed.
Is that the same with But I want to get to the passport situation. Can we talk about the passport situation?
Yeah, man. If you want to be the president of Somalia, you can't have no other.
For example, yeah, like, this is any country, right? Yeah, I don't know. In certain countries like India, in certain European countries, in certain African countries, you're not allowed they don't allow their citizens to become dual nationals. In Somalia, you could have a Somali passport and hold a foreign passport. But if you're a president of a country, you cannot hold a foreign passport because there's a conflict of interest. You could easily be influenced and bought off by this other foreign government where you reside in. Does that make sense?
100%, 100%.
100.
That's why I don't support anyone that has the support from the European Union and America, because
it's not just the president. It's not just the president. I remember some years ago, Al-Shabaab on Twitter, they leaked the list of informations of MPs who've got foreign passports. And a lot of these MPs, not just in Somalia, but in China, I've heard that the majority of MPs in China have got foreign passports. Can you believe that?
Bro, the way the MP situation is set up in Somalia is so corrupt.
Yeah, but this system was set by the Sharif government, remember, and like this is under the guise of America. So under the guise of African Union troops that's in Amazon and in America. They're the ones that set up this government, and they do this all over Africa. South Sudan, they set up that government, and it's robbing, and there's not one water pipeline built in the country. And every year they sell billions of dollars of oil, and the people never see that money.
But here's the question I was reading on Heran.com, my favorite website I go on. I was reading about, it's interesting you mentioned oil. I'm very afraid that the same thing's going to happen to Somalia in terms of the oil because, for example, foreign banks, for example, in Ethiopia, you don't have foreign banks. It's all like state-owned.
Yeah.
They don't allow foreign banks. But with Somalia, you've got like what, around 12 commercial banks, but no state bank. But Somalia has recently allowed like foreign banks to set up branches and offices from Egypt, from Turkey, and from Kenya, and I think from the Middle East as well, and many others soon to come. But let me give you an example of South Sudan, and I believe it's going to happen to us. In South Sudan, you know who helped launder most of the oil money out of the country? Guess.
International corporations, man.
No, foreign banks. Foreign banks in South Sudan helped launder the money out of the country, not the local banks, mainly foreign banks. That's what's going to happen to Somalia.
Bro, it's been happening.
How?
It's been happening.
In what way?
Basically, foreign banks. If, for example, if Turkey or Egypt, and think about it, is a president of Somalia, is he going to use Dahabshil or Amal or Sombank or Premier or IBS, International Bank of Somalia, to launder billions of pounds of money, of oil money, out of the country? Of course not. He's going to use a foreign bank to do it slightly.
Yeah, to keep it off the books.
You think? Let's be honest with you. Do you think a bank in Somalia? It could be Dahabshil, it could be IBS, it could be Premier.
Yeah, they don't have the
Sombank
to do that.
No, I'm not talking about would they allow it to happen if they had the capacity and everything, because they all got like Swift codes. They could easily take the money out of the country. I don't think they would. Come on.
It depends who owns those banks, though, if they can be influenced.
What's your thoughts on it? Do you think these banks in Somalia would cooperate if they were paid off?
Yes, they would, but like they would. Do you mean?
Yeah, because they're all business.
Because it's a money-making opportunity.
Yeah.
Because the banks are going to be making like 10% of that deal, and the rest is going to be given to the international
Wait, which one is the
corporations.
biggest bank in Somalia, though? Is it
the biggest? The biggest bank, Dahabshil, is a conglomerate. They're like money transfer banking. I'd say like Dahabshil, Premier, IBS, International Bank of Somalia, because both of them are banks. Premier and IBS are both like proper banks. Dahabshil. But the point I want to make is do you think Somalia needs a state bank, or that'd be much worse?
Hot up. I was having this conversation. Who's got background noise? I think S. Do you want to mute up? I don't know who's got background noise. Yeah. So I was saying earlier. Yeah. Had this conversation with Rodrigo a couple of times where he kind of blames like big companies like Hormuz that have a monopoly. So would it be more of an interest for Dawlata to have their own control of the banking system? What do you guys think of that?
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely not, man. Let's compare our neighbor Ethiopia. Like, I've used the commercial bank of Ethiopia to take out money, and they're rubbish. Their quality of service and customer service. Nah, man. And there'll be more corruption. Let's be honest with you. Do we want to go back to the time of Siad Barre where everything in Somalia is state-owned? Like, let's take, for example, our neighbors, Djibouti. Everything in Djibouti is state-owned. The telecom and I think the banking, is private. But look at the corruption. Only one big family owns everything in Djibouti. You want Somalia to Djibouti?
All right, let me tell you the difference.
That's the real definition of a dictator. And this
let me tell you the difference.
Dictator.
Let me tell you the difference. Yeah, when it's state-owned, whoever's in that presidential seat, they're the ones responsible for whatever happens. But when it's different companies and different billionaires, they can act in their own interest. Do you get what I mean? And then they can just leave the country. If they rob the country, like that's what happened in China, what happened in Russia in 1990. Like they lost more than $400 billion and of assets because people just once the Soviet Union collapsed, billionaires got rich and they just sold off the country. And once the Russian government, Putin, like created that government in 2000, yeah, and he was trying to recover some of the assets. They sold them off, and then they escaped the country. They came to London. They bought apartments. You know what I mean? They bought villas. They bought that. They increased the rent prices in London, Paris, America. Like, as in, like, what I'm trying to say is, when it's state controlled, then the government is responsible. But once you take it out from the government's hand and you give it to individuals, those individuals are very, very selfish. They only look for their own interest.
Yeah, but
So
the president can do that as well, bro. The
yeah, but
government can be corrupt.
then we can remove the president from power. We can, like, elect another president, because
Nah,
every
we
president
don't
has a
do
term.
elections, bro.
Every
The
every
people
president,
don't vote.
okay, from Macho now, he's served 4 years, and then obviously, yeah, just election security reasons he couldn't. But we had like 4 presidents so far, like Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Sharif, this guy, and the one before that, before those 3. So we had 4 presidents. Not like we only had one president for the last 40 years. Do you get what I mean? But if we were to do it individuals, like, come on, man, look, money corrupts people. Money corrupts people, and then like, they'll just become billionaires, like, and then once you become a billionaire, you could, like, rob a lot of money and just leave the country, and then not the government can't do anything to you. But once you're the government, the people will hold you responsible. Do you get what I mean? And once you leave power, then, like the next person would come in, and the next person would come in, and we would vote the person who's going to be into power. Like, because right now we vote for Macho, because the people
That's
trust
not how
for
the
Macho.
elections work in Somalia, bro. The MPs vote who goes in. The people have no say.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
S, that's
the
very
people vote for the
fantastic.
MPs.
S, you've
The
got a
MPs
very,
represent the people.
that's a very good point. You've highlighted a very good point that I wanted to touch on
And
personally.
that's
One
why
thing
the
I want to
corruption is so high, bro.
No,
one thing.
sorry, guys. Let me just pick off of what he's saying. You just said something brilliant. You said the MPs are choosing the president. Even though this whole president he's not the people's president right now. He's chosen by a select committee of MP, and a lot of people are complaining these MPs don't have the interest of the people at heart. So after this vote, hopefully, do you think there's going to be some type of introduction of one man, one voting system? Should that be next on the
As long as
agenda?
there's security, one man, one vote will never happen, because people are just going to blow up the voting booths.
Yeah, well,
Al Shabaab are just going to blow it up.
that shit can't
That's the
happen as
reason
well.
why we're not going to have elections. One man, one vote. It's because there's security reasons. But from Macho, he's been training soldiers. He sent soldiers to Eritrea, to Turkey, to
Yo, bro,
Djibouti.
your mic's messed up still.
Oh yeah, what do you think about that? Like, about this whole secretive thing about Farmajo? That's one thing I dislike about him. Why did he send our brothers to that country that we shouldn't get involved in? Because those young Somalis are being used as cannon fodders by Eritrea as
No,
expendable.
no,
But
no,
then,
no. One second. I beg you, let me speak on this point quickly.
that's Ben, man. Why would Eritrea use them as cannon fodder when
Yeah,
they have like
Yeah,
200,000
Rodrigo,
men?
do you want to go through? Who wanted to speak on that point?
yeah. Let me speak through on that issue with the. You see, the troops that are being trained in Eritrea, yeah, that's the future for Somalia. The training that this army has got, yeah, the man Lesotho, but in Eritrea, yeah, is actually so fully functioning. They know the guerrilla warfare. They know literally Eritrea. Lesotho, but in look, كبابادي لهين على الشباب. This the Markin or Eritrea came out then. They will literally take Al Shabaab in 2 months, 3 months. I've had people speak about them. And the issue with a lot of African nations here, one second, a lot of African nations here are really, really upset with the amount of and military power we're getting, especially with the ones that are being trained in Eritrea. Apparently, they're not a joke, wallahi. And it's scaring a lot of nations or neighbors here now, wallahi.
Especially Kenya.
Yeah.
About this, I want to get to this as well. Regarding Somalia has now, the civil war in Somalia, even though it's now ended. What is this president of the current one, the incumbent one, or the next one that's coming up here? Whoever gets elected, this Farmajo, this Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud clown. What are they going to do to rebuild Somalia's institutes? Important institutes to rebuild the country, to recover.
That is a brilliant question.
I'll give an example. Why won't the government, for example, build the main important industries that were destroyed in the past? Like, I was reading something today online about one of the Somali forums about Why don't they not relaunch Somali Airlines? Why don't they not rebuild Somalia's pharmaceutical industry? Why won't they rebuild, establish and reform Somalia's educational system, language? Like, for example, Somali Language Institute. The only functional one. There's one in Somalia. The only functional one is in Djibouti. What are we doing about in terms of building these institutes in our country instead of relying on the outside? Like, why can't we train our troops in our country? Why can't we do certain things in our country without spending money?
No, Rod, there's so much you can do yourself. You're always gonna be you can't be self-reliant. You're gonna rely on others.
No, but self-reliance is good. It is good.
Yeah, but you're not capable of that yet. You haven't reached that yet.
And I'm talking about in terms of like Somalia's foreign. What is Farmager doing in terms of like attracting investment? Because the country has been destroyed for 30 years. What is the Farmager doing in order to attract hard investment from foreign investment from many countries from all over the world?
Security is the main thing that he's done.
Exactly.
Once you establish security, then there's stability.
Yeah.
So even a country like Syria, which is battered, is still getting investment. No disrespect to them.
Yeah, no. But okay, so what do you guys think of the next? Let's move on. When is it? 5 years from now, what do you think this election is actually going to show to everyone? That's one thing. So if you look at in a couple of years, do you think this election is a defining moment? Because God, look at the title of the stream. It took us how many months and maybe a year and a half to get to here. So after this election, should people learn and take lessons of what happened and led to this place? What do you guys think? Do you think hopefully there'll be lessons learned and implementations, so things like this doesn't happen again? Where things get delayed, egos, do you think that has to stop?
It has to stop, bro. But will it stop? That's the question. It won't
That's the
stop
interesting question.
until these older people as well. If you look at all the people in the parliament currently, man, they're all old people over 50. They still got that old mentality.
Yeah.
Where's all the young people? You don't see one young person there.
That's true.
This is their mentality. Amusan, the sukan until them or not the sukan. That's what they're
and
telling.
Most of them, you know what's funny? Most of them are uneducated.
Why does that tribalism and that traditionalism, not even tribalism, that backwardness exists in these countries in Africa and the Middle East? Like Amos, it's until Dimado, but that you got all these old people who've been in power for 30 or 40 or 50 years and they still feel like it's going to be same old routine, like it's never ending. But sooner or later, and I fear that. Let me finish. I fear that the people that were born in Somalia, they're just going to continue that. You found me, sir? Hello.
Yeah.
قلقن يا مصطفى قلقن.
No, I was just waiting for someone to say something. Yeah.
No, you're right, bro. You're right.
Someone said you need Dagan Alice.
Whoever said that to me, I don't want to be rude, but
no. We're not going to do that. Okay. But listen, do you want to elaborate on more what you meant?
Who, me or the other guy?
You.
All I said was it's just going to continue. Like those Ayal that were born in Somalia, who lived there their whole life, the future, they're educated, is learned behavior from parents and the elders. They're going to continue what they've seen during the Civil War, and those that were born after the Civil War. Maybe in 20 or 30 years, I could be wrong. But that, what goes, because this is Africa, this is the third world, it's just going to continue from that afterwards. That's
I
the way
would you
things are
guys?
over there.
But our update said, can you guys inform me for the march? Well, brother, that's what we're trying to work out. Family tree, that's what we're trying to work out. We're trying to work out who's won, what's going on, how's it working, who's doing what is it? Is it a final call? Because I think, as you can see from the video behind us, I think it's a live stream as well. So this is live events that we're listening to. So we're actually watching it live, streaming it live, and having our opinion. Again, please hit up the like button, share the content, and link is always in the chat, in the comment section. So anyone that wants to get involved and have their say, has a different opinion to us, you're more than welcome to. Please share your content, share what your thoughts are. This is a space for everyone. And again, I'd like to remind everyone, please hit up the like button. Every Sunday, we're back again. The fun ain't gonna stop. But guys, let's get back on the point, yeah? A profound question that I wanted to ask is after this election is done, whoever's won, do you think that president is gonna have a rebuilding task? Should that president actually just focus on the stability and peace? What should be on top of his manifesto? What should be the main things that we're looking forward to the new guy in charge? What do you guys think? Or maybe your old head. What do you guys think? Main things that you want to see implemented and changes. Hello? Don't be shy.
Yes, the country should rebuild, and the new president needs to get rid of the corruption and make new reforms in all areas of the country, from economic, cultural, whether it's economic, politically, or culturally. The new president needs to make those changes, attract foreign investment, get Somaliland and get all the Qablaha to come to the table and unify, and the country should focus on developing the country, make Somalia great.
That should be some of the main ethos, yeah?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's building trust, man. More than anything, to be fair, man. I believe obviously the people need to be able to trust their president. I believe one of the issues would be also corruption. Corruption's very rife within the Africa in general, isn't it? So people need to believe that they can trust their president. And then behind it, just baby steps, man. Baby steps, ground up and build up. That's it.
Big Farah, brilliant, beautiful. You said something. How does one gain the trust of a broken society, a broken nation? How does one repair that trust? You said something great. You said the new guy or whoever's going to be in charge next should actually focus on building. How does one attain that? How does one do that?
Through transparency. Everything that he does should be transparent, man. It should be documented. It should be people should have some sort of access to see what they, where these funds and money's coming from, where it's how it's being distributed. Just some things like that.
You want to see transparency. You want to see a government that's transparently open. What about accountability?
I mean, with transparency comes accountability. If people can see what's going on, then people are more inclined to trust, and they can hold their leaders account. If they see something that's not right, then obviously they can point that out and obviously raise the issues up.
Yeah, I heard that. It's crazy.
So the panel here are they pro formaggio? Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is informed, so they're pro formaggio. Anyone that's informed will be pro formaggio, man.
Yeah, I hear that, man. What's wrong with Denny though? I don't hear his name a lot. Is he like the least popular?
Well, I'm surprised. There's a couple of people, especially in our groups, in our WhatsApp group, that are pro Denny. I'm surprised why they're not even speaking about it.
Denny was not wanted in Puntland, and he started a war.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
the people didn't want him. He tried to do. He tried to use the military.
So how did he come about then? How did he
Hey,
like?
sorry guys. Rad, can you fix you've got this background echo noise. Fix your headsets or whatever equipment you're using. Fix your mic, yeah. Go ahead. Someone answer that question.
Yeah, then he started a war because the people did not want him. The people in the capital did not want him. But the capital of Puntland did not want him, and all the businessmen did not want him. So he tried to use military force. So he said he called all the military, and he said, if you don't resign, he resigned a couple of ministers by force, and he elected his friends, and the people were not having it. So he left Puntland and he came to run for presidency in Somalia, and he under the support of the European Union and Kenya. Do you get what I mean? So like it's pretty simple for me. Whoever has support from the European Union, America, and Kenya, yeah, I don't want them going anywhere near any forget president like becoming a president. I don't want them becoming a police officer, anything. I don't want him to be in government. I don't want him to be anywhere near the government. I don't even want him inside the country.
Oh, you got a lot of contempt for Denny. Wow.
Yes, man. He started a war by and just so that he can hold on to power. And look, he got kicked out of power.
What about Fawzia, Adam? She's the only female candidate.
I think she's just there for show, man. Like, oh yeah, like I think it's just, you know what I mean? Like, oh, women and men are involved. You know, it's just not just the men. You know what I mean? Because like, no, who's gonna vote for her? It's like Somali is very
But
black.
me, I just want to add something here about Fawzia, Adam. What do you call it? She's a northerner, and it's quite rare for a northerner, especially from where she's from. I'm from the same region as her. But do you think Somalia should have? I've never said this before, but Mudain Rad is saying something different today. Do you think Somalia might need people like her?
Yes, we definitely need people like her. People that are trusted by the community. People that have a reputation that don't have a reputation of corruption. Do you know what I mean? And people that care about the people of Somalia. We want people like her. We want people like Farmajo and anyone else that thinks that puts Somalia first before America and European Union. Do you know what I mean? Because if you look at Africa, if you look at Congo, South Sudan, all these other countries that are being exploited, yeah, they all have the support of American government and the European Union. Like, if you look at the top 5 presidency, top 5 like the longest serving presidents right now today, yeah, one of them serving 41 years, yeah, another one is serving 40 years, the third one serving 38 years, the fourth one serving 27 years, and that's Eritrea, SIS. But all the top 5 are serving like 21 from 27 to 41 years in power. And no one condemns them, no one calls them dictators, no one calls them anything because all the natural resources are being shipped out from the country, shipped to European Union, like gold, oil, everything, and no one overthrows them. There's no coup. There's no like.
But do you think we need to do? Do you think Farmajo needs to do what it needs to be done? Just suspend all elections, bring in the military, forcefully unite the country, rebuild it, and
he can't do that.
make deals.
He doesn't do that. He can't do that. He doesn't have the military to do that. And if he does that, he would lose the support of the people.
But come on, man, isn't that happening in what's it called, Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea and even one of those countries outside of Africa? Like, he's doing it. What's his name? That guy of Belarus. What's his name? I forgot his name, the president, but he's working out for them.
My point is, yeah, he doesn't have the
you know what's even funny about the president of Belarus? Like, I can never imagine a president in Africa or prime minister or even in Somalia doing this. If Somalia had all the oil and the gas and the resources, it was under dictatorship. The country was very wealthy and that the economy is doing great, but the Dawlad wants to basically get rid of, let's say, the benefits of, let's say, the oil benefits that's benefiting the people. The dollar is telling the unemployed to, what's it called? He wants to tax the unemployed who are unemployed. That's what the president of Belarus did, but it failed.
Yeah, I don't know much about Belarus apart from that
No, I'm saying it's in
guy.
Somalia
He's been in,
basically. Somalia basically, if it were to earn trillions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, I feel like people would not want to Madonna Shaqayan. What should we do about these unemployed farahs back home? I believe that they should start doing like government road construction, building, just like what they do in Eritrea. Because you can't just have people just laying around doing nothing while the
listen.
country becomes
That needs a
wealthy.
strong government. That needs a strong government. Somalia does not have a strong government. That's the point. Eritrea has a strong government. The whole people are united under the government. That's why it can do these massive projects, because the government has been President Isaias has been in power for 27 years, ever since they got
But there's incentives for
independence.
that. I'll give you incentives. And people are gonna laugh about this, or it may sound ridiculous, but it will work. Let's call these group of gulats and sharamaks and dayas from all over the Qobbles, all over Qobalada. Give them basically weekly chewing gum, Coca-Cola, biyaha kawain, and qadka, bilash kusi. And
That takes funding, man. That's all
kushagina,
money. That's
every
all
day
money,
bilash
man.
kusin if mesha wadoin katista.
That's all money, bro. That's my point. That's all money. No one's
You're
gonna
telling
work
me
for
the dollar
free.
can't provide qadka bilashka.
You know how much card costs, bro?
Well, it can grow in the country.
Well, they don't grow it in the country. They don't even grow rice. They don't grow anything. Everything's imported into the country because of the war. Everything is imported,
Yeah, we
basically.
need
Because
to.
Madoni and Shakayan.
Oh,
Yeah,
can I say one thing? Yeah, you know, the European Union, when they were providing food aid to Somalia, they would always provide the food aid. They would flood the market with food when the farmers' crops were being like removed. Like, so like the farmer, yeah, all the farmers, they're like ambeha, everything in it, like, and he'll bring it to the market, but just the week before he brings it, European Union will flood the market with food, so that the farmer cannot sell his produce, so that he can't sell his produce, he'll be
Well,
out of
Lola, they did
business.
that everywhere. They did that everywhere. For example, like
It's
this
the UN,
African
yeah,
country
it's the
had a big.
UN, it's the UN.
This African country had a textile industry. Let me give you a quick lesson. Did you know that if you donate clothing to a third world country, did you know when they send these clothes to Africa, and when they send these clothes, did you know it's not free? They actually sell these used clothes, and they destroy the textile industry of that country. It does more harm than good than these used clothing. Did
I'm
you know
talking
that?
about, I'm talking about the same thing. You're talking about the textile industry. I'm talking about the food industry. It's the same technique. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I'm
It's the
trying to
same
say.
You
technique.
saying
It's not new.
what you guys saying? Disabling a community, making them dependent on stuff instead of
Foreigners, yeah, foreign stuff,
yeah, yeah.
and then destroying the local businessman, the local farmer, the local guy who
Mm,
makes tiras
mhm,
or duntasmaya. He's destroying his
mhm,
business because this guy's competing with goods that are coming in from outside the country.
mhm,
And that farmer, I've seen videos of farmers like complaining, saying, "Oh, when I bring my produce to the market, there's this like it's already there because the European Union are flooding the market when my crops are being."
Oh yeah, about that, I wanted to mention something about these European countries, and it's absolutely, it's disgusting. Not only disgusting, but it's heartbreaking. If you look at some of these, Europe says they're helping Africa. If you look at countries like the Netherlands, Germany, or France, they're dumping billions and billions of dollars off of milk powder, and especially France on its ex-colonies. Did you know that Cameroon? I watched a documentary about on DW documentaries. They went to a supermarket in Cameroon. The majority of the milk, especially milk powder and dairy products, all came from France. That country hasn't got a dairy industry because the dairy farmers cannot compete with obviously countries like the Netherlands that produces liters of this milk. and they sell it for so cheaply and dump it on these countries.
And this is a UN program, by the way. This is a UN program, and it's funded by the IMF, and it's designed to control these countries from the inside. Because once you control the food industry, the textile industry, and all the other industries, you control the country. You could take that country to the ground. So when they want to negotiate with the president, yeah, they can threaten him and say, "Oh, we're going to stop the imports to your country," and then the people are going to throw you out of power because the people are going to suffer.
But
Do you know what I
one
mean?
question, Malala, the question is now, let's talk about economics. Let's look at some of the other African countries where they've got leverage over, especially in
Sorry, one last
France.
thing.
Their
One last
former,
thing.
what
Eritrea
leverage, the point I'm trying to make
is
is that what
example.
leverage does America, or especially the UK and Italy, what leverage have they got over Somalia in terms of economically? This is for everybody, including
Anyone that imports anything to Somalia, anything that's important like food, they have leverage over Somalia. Because if you don't have food, you don't live, basically. If you don't have like certain construction materials that's imported, then you can't build.
Okay, what foods do we import from outside? Because Somalia produces the food. Foods that
A lot. If you go on right now, type the food import industry, it's
I'll Google it. I'll
billions.
Google.
It's billions, Riyadh. Not millions, billions. And the example that we should follow is the Eritrea example. There's not one UN aid program in Eritrea. They kicked them out. Everything is locally produced. That you know what I mean? Like everyone's eating Eritrean food. Like they don't import any food, basically. They're independent.
Well, let me read this. What Somalia imports. Most recent import of Somalia are led by rolled tobacco. In fact, that's like 577 million. Raw sugar is quite sad, even though we can produce the sugar. Is 262 million. Other vegetables, 248 million. Rice, which we could easily produce but quite sad, 206 million. And broadcasting equipment, 150 million.
If you add all that up, it's in the billions. That's my point.
And read this. Where does Somalia import food from? Somalia main imports are actually main import partners are Djibouti, India, Kenya, Pakistan, China, Egypt, Oman, United Emirates, and this is sad. This is very sad.
You can't. It's sad, yeah, but Hassan Sheikh Mohamud and the previous presidencies, they were getting a cut from that. So these companies that bring that food, all of that into the country, it's in their interest that business continues as like that. It's in their interest that the local farmers in Somalia cannot cannot compete with them. The local industries cannot compete with them. Do you know what I mean?
And listen to this. You listen to this here. You know, we don't have many Holsteins. We don't have like the white. We don't have like as many. I don't know actually how many cows there are in the country, but
there's a lot, man.
With the milk situation, we could produce camel milk, and that's gonna bring us like hard-earned currency. Like we've got like over 10 million camels in the country. That's the highest in the world.
And we probably have like 6 million cows.
So isn't that gold? That's basically the white gold, the white liquid gold, and we should be making billions exporting camel milk in terms of camel dairy products, milk powder. And we could make billions from these Middle Eastern countries.
It requires, you know what, to build infrastructure. It requires capital to invest in these sort of
this is like 30 years in the future.
I think we're looking too far ahead. Yeah. We need to focus on right now. Security is the most important thing for Somalia. We need to think. We need to worry about transparency, and then all of these investments will come. People will be then obviously inclined to invest in the country if there's some sort of security. But foreign investment ain't gonna come if there's no security whatsoever in the country.
Yes, 100% agree. That's why Formaggio sent 7,000 troops to Eritrea, sent 1,500 troops to Djibouti, and every year 300 troops are trained by Turkey. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to train as much troops as he can, and keep in mind that the UK under the European Union said that Somalian troops, cannot exceed 25,000. Do you know what I mean? And they don't want Somalia to be. They always want Somalia in conflict. They don't want Somalia to rise. So they're
You know,
saying,
I do not understand about the Somali army. We could easily defeat Al Shabaab right here, but you know what really, really makes me angry? Why won't the government tell the UK to fuck off? America and UK to fuck off and start
because he would be
producing
removed from
weapons.
power.
No, why can't Somalia produce these weapons? Our neighbor Ethiopia produces weapons. Our neighbor Sudan,
under the
countries like
UN.
Ethiopia and Sudan, they produce weapons,
That's
and
under
they've
the
got their own
UN.
military complex industry. Like, for example, Eritrea, Ethiopia, for example, has got Metek, where they produce like machine guns, grenades, vehicles, tanks, construction equipment, even construction equipment and train equipment. I'm thinking, why are we not allowed to do that?
Bro, we can't produce sandals. Forget that, man. We can't produce sandals. Why? That needs the whole metal industry. That's like another 10 years into the future. Like you're thinking too far ahead. We're at ground zero right now. Somalia's at ground zero. We just left a 30-year conflict. Do you know what I mean? So we're starting from the zero. Like Ethiopia has been peaceful for the last how many years? Those other countries have been peaceful for the last how many years? And they didn't do it by
Guys.
themselves.
1 second. I want to welcome back family member Ridley James. We're back. We're
Ridley,
back, Ridley.
sort the word walla,
Big up,
nobody
Ridley.
accent.
How have you been? Where is he? Is his mic on? No. Let him when he's ready. You can talk. Go on. Carry on, guys.
You're thinking too far ahead. We just came from a 30-year
I am not
conflict.
thinking far too ahead. I believe that we are capable of like doing that.
But we're not capable of producing sandals. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like,
Well, who said that? Who said that? Like, that's a bit
as in like a figure of
ignorant.
speech, obviously sandals, we can produce sandals. As in like we don't have any, we need a metal industry to produce weapons. We don't have any metal
An
industry.
industrial revolution is needed. That's
Every
what
tool is imported. Every tool that you need to fix your car, to fix your bike, to fix anything, any tool for your house,
Again,
your hammer,
Chamadas.
anything,
Let me ask you
anything
about
metal,
Chamadas Somalia. Yeah,
anything metal is imported.
you know, one thing I've noticed, that could be wrong here. Why doesn't Somalia not have an engineering institution like certification board in terms of like
Because of the
teaching
war.
engineering?
Because of the war. That's why you don't have any.
But why hasn't
Because
the
of the war.
government? Why hasn't any of these administrations before Farmajo and Sheikh Hassan Sheikh They didn't focus on rebuilding the country, rebuilding the education system. I mean, it's not important.
The security is more important than education at the moment. That's what I think, and that's what everyone thinks. Because Al Shabaab are blowing up universities, they're blowing up schools, they're blowing up this. You know what I mean? So we have to deal with Al Shabaab. Otherwise, no one's going to go to university.
Also,
No one's.
this has come to my attention as well. You know, I was researching the medical tourism industry. I'm thinking, do you think it's possible that Somalia can go into areas like dental tourism and spinal surgery, those key areas?
Bro, you're
No, I
thinking
don't think that's
way
the
too far
focus.
ahead, bro. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Leave that for the Turks. The
What?
Turks got that on lock at the moment.
There's
No,
no.
the Turks have got the hair transplant industry on lock. Like,
Nah, it's all
let me
over.
ask you a
Any
question.
kind
Why
of
is it that in
transplant you
Somalia,
need,
right?
it's
Yeah,
the
if you go to
Turks.
Somalia now, you find all these Syrians doing dentistry. I'm thinking, why can't Somalia not do dentistry?
Because people don't trust a Somali that graduated from a dentist in Somalia. They trust a foreigner because they
Why a
know that
foreigner? Tell me right now.
Because
Why?
these are
Because it's that
experienced doctors,
appeal.
man.
It's
These
it's
are
it's
experienced
mascara. It's
doctors.
something to do with the brain. Like really,
Yeah,
truthfully,
it
there's some
is. Yeah.
people. It's self-hatred, and it's not even trusting. Well, I used to see a lot. Like no, like we've got like brothers and sisters. You know, when I was in Hargeisa, what pissed me off is I'm seeing NGOs left, right, center doing jobs that any regular Somali brother or sister could do. I'm like, what? So, but then I realized they're doing this whole white savior thing. They're not caring, but they're here just to, gratify. And you're thinking to myself, okay, we've got Somali brothers and sisters that could do this job. That could do verbatim what these guys are doing. But yeah, again, do we trust in our own?
100%.
That's the
Yeah.
But you
question.
know what? They
But
don't even give
bro,
the jobs. You know these foreign jobs. They're like, let me ask you about these foreign organizations. They don't even give the jobs to the people, the natives. Did you know that?
That's true.
But listen, this happens all over Africa. It's not just Somalia. This happens all over Africa. And like in Kenya, you'll see a white guy as a dentist, or you'll see another Indian or whatever. Do you know what I mean? As in, like
it's a
most of the
global thing.
cases.
It's a global thing.
No, most of the cases is these people that they're hiring are actually experienced people. It's not like they're hiring a 21-year-old. They're actually hiring like a 40-year-old dentist who's been a dentist in Syria for 20 years or in a dentist in India for 15 years, and he comes over to Somalia and he makes a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? Because he's in India, they have like 1 million dentists. In Somalia, there's not that many. So he's gonna leave India and just come to Somalia. Do you know what I mean? Like he can't find a job in India, he'll come to
But
Somalia.
what we also got to do is bring back the people that are in the countries abroad that are Somali to come back to the country.
But one more thing I want to add here before I mute up here. Let me ask a question. Let's look at Cuba. Cuba has got a similar population to Somalia. Do you know how many bloody doctors and dentists, doctors, medical people, medical personnel graduate? It's got the highest.
Yeah.
And their population is not so big. They've got a similar population to us. But they've so many doctors are graduating. And Cuba sends doctors to 100 and something countries. And they've got faith. It's not about self-hatred, it's about faith. Even a country like Nigeria, they have no faith in their system. That's
Yeah,
what
but
some of these countries lack. They have no faith.
bro,
They have no
have you not realized
faith.
that we was
I
in a war,
repeat
bro?
myself before I mute up. If you are a country, if you have no faith in your banking system, if you have no faith in your president, if you have no faith in your language, if you have no faith in yourself, then you're done for.
Bro,
Who's
all
going
I'm
to
saying is,
respect you?
yeah,
You think it's
Yeah, but
done? Who's going to
your
respect you
point's
if you
not
have no
making
faith?
sense though. Your point's not making sense though. What
yeah,
do
it's
you
not
mean
making
by
sense, bro. As in, like, if you need a dentist, you need a dent. Like, if you want a doctor, you need like a university of doctors. Like, you need a university. You need the facilities. You need
I
like
understand. I understand where the brothers are coming from. Where Ridley, sorry, not Ridley. Where Rad, he doesn't fail to understand is because we went through civil war, destruction.
30 years.
This is a 30 years as well. So long. I don't think no one predicted this bullshit. There's things that you're gonna be set back in, and if you need foreign doctors of people that have the expertise, whether they're I think the vetting process of letting people in the country will that's the problem. Licensing people. That's what I really think. But I don't mind right now. I say learn off them. If you use a great country as an example, is Botswana. Botswana, instead of kicking out all the foreigners, they've learned from them. They said, okay, you lot can stay here. We're gonna trade. You're gonna use our money, our stuff, but we're gonna teach our people stuff off you. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
yes, yes.
Botswana is one of the best examples. So for me, if there's a foreign doctor and we are lacking in doctor, well, give the person he or she the job.
That's why they have the job, Khalid. That's why they have the job because they
Mhm.
come from their countries and they have like 20 years experience, 10 years experience. Because it's not like a 20-year-old that's coming to Somalia. These are mostly Oleal, bro. Like Ole,
Yeah, that's
all the
true. I see
dentists.
that.
You know what I
When I
mean?
saw all these Syrians, all these they're mainly people that's been obviously he's got the skills and shit, especially the Syrians back home and all
Yeah,
professional.
bro. They left Syria, the war in Syria, and then all the highly educated people left the
Mhm.
country to go see opportunities elsewhere. Some of them come to Somalia because
But
it's a
should we
Muslim
allow
country.
these Syrians into our country because Turkey has had
Of
enough of
course we
these
should allow
Syrians?
them, bro. They're Muslims. We're not no
Why?
gala, bro. Should we allow them,
Why?
fam?
I believe that Somalia needs to change its visa policy because anyone can
Nah,
come
man,
into the country and
you're
their
moving
visa.
mad.
I'm not moving mad. Like,
Yes, you
SS
are,
there
why?
is
bro.
a bit no SS there is a bit where he is making sense. There is a bit where we need to
Immigrants, man.
focus on ourselves
Nah, we shouldn't, bro. We're Muslims
No,
first.
No,
That's
we
what we
should
are,
we
man.
should
hold on,
take
That's
hold
not
on,
away
true.
the
hold
That's
on,
not
hold
religious
on,
true.
one
Let's
freedom
not
from
second.
forget
people.
No,
Somalia,
no,
bro.
sorry, stop screaming. You see these brothers, you know, when people scream over each other, they listen. I understand where you're coming from, but well, no offense here. If Muslim nations were thinking like that, there would have been people coming through and rare. Nations right now, as we're speaking, have to do something called self-preservation and self-development.
Bro, say
Does that make sense?
astaghfirullah, sahib. Wallahi, astaghfirullah, iskade. There's that mentality is why the whole Muslim everywhere, all the Muslim countries are
So
just
do
in
you
free
want me to
fall.
be no, but brother, do you want me to be realistic in the world that I live in now? And look, I'm not making this into a religious debate, but wallah, it's
No, but
every nation for it. But wallah, 1 second, let's be realistic. Let's not romanticize things. Every nation is for itself. It's self-interest first. Does that make sense?
I
There's no
understand where you're
nation.
coming from.
There's no now. I look if there's a Sharia, everyone's doing the damn team together, holding hands. Yes, and as a Muslim, yeah, deal. But right now, as the apparent everyone's for themselves, and we've got a rebuilding job to do.
I
So you
Yeah,
agree with
can't
the
tell
I,
me,
argument.
I, I hear I hear the point where you're coming from, but at the end of
yeah.
the day, we're not meant to follow Aiga Hisubinaya, bro. And we're meant to do it
But
ourselves. And
system. But look, this look.
No,
Is
man,
there a system
still
where there's a
Lucania.
Khalifa? Where I'm coming from, is
At
there?
the
Look,
time,
this is
fam.
where sometimes some of these brothers and
He's against
sisters,
our
where
rebuilding, fam.
then this is where sometimes I struggle with some of the brothers and sisters that are not geopolitically aware of the Dunka, how it
nah,
runs, how
I
it
am, bro.
is.
I studied this in
You are.
university, bro.
Okay, I respect that. But then again, you subjectively look. Listen, in an ideal world, there shouldn't be even Muslim nations. They shouldn't even be under this. If you really
Yeah,
want to go down to teeth, there should be one Khalifa running everywhere.
yeah, I hear you.
Alamakhayo. But we're
Yeah,
not living in that society.
I hear you.
We
I
are
hear
not in
you.
that
But this is
society.
just my
So
person. This is You're talking about
again,
the
this is your person.
realistic situation. I'm talking about
Yes,
a personal.
no, but personally, look, I'm saying, look, if we open our borders and say, well, where all of this, like floodgates, first thing says, we're a minute population. That's number one. Number two, bruv, we've got something called rebuilding. And I think the diaspora privilege doesn't understand that we've got something called rebuilding job. Does that make sense? Like a whole society, we've been left a mess. From now, for me, it's the whole aspect, and I always use this analogy to a lot of the brothers and sisters. And I always notice this quote, if you've got one baldi of water, Allah told you charity starts at home. Fix yourself before you can fix anyone.
Yeah.
Fix
No. But
yourself.
his point was that
Yeah.
should we let Syrians in?
Yeah, we should. We're like, look, Sadaqah hand, chariot hand, but at the same time, yeah, you
There's a
have to do
limit.
border control as well.
No,
Were people not getting? Were people not saying before? Oh, the Saudis, they didn't when they were poor, we used to help them. Now they're not
Yeah.
helping us. So do we want to do that to other people as well?
That's a good,
But
brilliant point. Well, that's a
let,
good point. The
let
brother
me say
has a
So you're
something.
brilliant point.
basically becoming the oppressor.
I
Let me
agree
say
with you. I
something.
agree
Let
with
me
you.
say something. Yeah. Listen, like we don't have enough to share with the whole world. That's my point. And I think that's what Khalid's getting at. We can't let everyone in. We can only let a certain amount in, like certain, say like 5,000, 10,000, because every person that comes into the country is a burden. Because we need to provide them food, we need to provide them housing, we need to provide them water, all of the necessities that they need. So we can't. That's why UK is not taking all these refugees that's coming from Ukraine, Syria. That's why they're deporting them because they can't take all the refugees in. So
Nah, that's wrong, bro.
as you're a
That's
Muslim
incorrect.
and you want to do your best for them and you want to invite all of them to the country, we can't house all of them. We don't have the food for all of them.
Nah,
We
nah.
can't afford all
I
of them.
never said that, bro. I never said invite all of them. I said if there's an individual that wants to come here, bro. There's not millions that are coming to Somalia. If you deep it, there's only a couple thousand or less than that.
Yeah,
I would say couple
I
hundred.
agree. I agree. It's certain small numbers, yeah, that we can manage, and we should take the skilled workers, like the Syrian doctors, like the Syrian, like so like people fleeing Syria or people fleeing whatever conflict country. We should take the skilled workers because those are the people that we really need.
Okay, so if they're unskilled, well, what do you say at the airport? You say go back to your country. Is that what you say?
Yeah, if we can't house them, if we can't take care of their burden, yeah, go back to your country. Because we can't house you. We don't have. If we can't, like, say like you have a house and there's 20 people in your
Yeah,
house
go back to your country,
and another
fam.
person
Yeah, go
knocks on
back
your house.
home.
Are you gonna let them? Are you gonna like house them in your house where there's 20 people inside? No, you're gonna be like, no, sorry, we're at capacity.
Nah, and this is where
You know, I want to ask the brother a question. Like, let's say Somalia right now was a middle-income country. It was doing very well for itself. The diaspora and everybody is coming back. Let's say, for example, you've got millions of Africans and people from the Middle East, from Asia, similar situation in South Africa. They all want to come to Somalia. If I was the president, I'd only allow immigration. I would only allow. I'd be very strict on immigration. I would allow immigration from only countries like Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Kenya. Those regions.
No,
would you that
no.
makes no sense, bro. How can you only? Wallah.
Like for
You're
me,
trying to maintain a
I'll give
Somali
an example. You know,
ethnicity.
Poland.
yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
For
Why
me,
doesn't
I've got
Poland?
either me.
Can I say something quick? Wallah?
Wallah,
Why
got
is
some Hitler
Poland
ideology.
refusing? Let
Man
me
said
ask
I
you.
will only invite
Poland.
people
Let
that
me
are.
finish. Let me finish. Can I finish quickly before I mute up? Why is Poland very, very, very? Because I work with Polish people. If you look at Poland, Poland is a very clean country, modern and and it receives billions and billions from the EU. And if you look at Poland, they're only taking in Adan, Kuhuntika Adanka, but they don't want to take in Kwa Afrikanka, Kwa Muslimka. They don't want to take in any of these people. They're taking in millions of Ukrainians because they're similar culture and they're both Slavic. And second of all, and you know what's interesting? People from third world countries are even going to Poland to work, while the Polish are going to other countries in Europe to work. But you've got people from these third world countries that are coming to Poland to get these work visas to Poland to work. Because probably the wages crap over there. I don't know how much they pay people there, but that's what I've researched. But it's interesting.
That's true.
What's going on, my friend?
Yes, my brother. What's going on, my man? Like
What's
Frenchie,
going
long
on?
time. Ridley, is your mic working? Where's Ridley? The boy Ridley's mic working. I ain't seen him for time. Welcome back.
What's happening, man? You lot got winning this selection, man.
H. Mohammed, salam alaikum, Sardo. Who's H. Mohammed? Hello? H. Mohammed, mic check.
Yeah, she'll get the hang of it. Way back there.
I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. I don't know if that's a guy. It might be a guy as well.
Yo, Khaled, what are you saying, fam?
What are you telling me, my family? Long time. I don't like the way they did you dirty on that app. Still.
Oh, yo, what happened? What they do, fam? When they banned me, I lied. What they say after that time?
Hey,
Yo,
this
Yeah, no, it's just certain people try to throw you underneath the bus big time, and it was disgusting, family tree. And it was like, yo, like,
when I left?
I'll talk to you on Insta. Call me on Insta. You got my WhatsApp, so I'll chat to you on WhatsApp or something.
Hold up, send me right now. My fuck, I don't even see I have you right now. Do I? Let me see.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I was trying to come back, but they're basically Clubhouse is saying I'm gone for good. I'm like, why, yo, bro? I was trying to save my people, fam.
You have to make a new account, man.
You can't let these.
Who's this
vaginas,
person?
you know what I mean?
Sorry, we got a new panelist.
ولا نو نيو ما اسد ما هني
Allah,
ولدانك وحوين جنرال
big time.
هذا واحد كبح لي وحوين واحد شيء بلاك سيت ما قاعد ولا بدل ممكن بلاك سيت يلا اسكتوا بهذا.
Yes, aka we're back. We're gonna be doing every Sunday. We're gonna be talking about relationships. We're gonna be talking about every Sunday. We're on everything. We're back. We are back.
I hear that, brother, man. MashaAllah,
What's
man.
your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Askari, on the
obviously, you know my stance, innit? My stance obviously hurts away, you know. And when it comes to a race, what does Somali? When it comes to African getting other people the independence, you know, certain countries like South Africa, we help them fight for them, you know. Many countries we've been flying for the Air Force, you know, against these colonizers, right? But it seems to show that today, like, we help so many countries. I'm talking over like 15 to 20 countries, you know, helping them, you know, with Air Force and military, supplying the military weapons, training people, training, you know, rebel soldiers like that. You know, Nelson Mandela and his party, you know, the ANC and all of those people, right? But for some reason, you know, these other African countries don't seem to respect us for that shit, you know? We have always shown some sort of unity with Africa and showed them, you know what, that's gonna dance when like that can market عدان يكدم بيادات المقتل. So sometimes what's with you وحدها unity ما مربناه لكن هو بهانا المقتل حوين فرت ذكر عدان كنا سكعل نوين المقتل dad baa jira maalmo ku dhaca wadanka gaska noqo taan badihiin ilo lies asking ka soo baxaya iyo waxaas ultimately. So we have to accept this disrespect. This is violation fam. Anaka African baa nahay, you know, meesha dunia ku taajisan ka imaanay meel oo basaas oo noocay idinkana most of you African people, yeah, don't even realize that, you know. You're just asking yourself, you know what, let me just feel some type of way when this Adan talks to me like that. Motherfucker, or that call them midi or mother has get children. Uncivilized motherfuckers wearing that Adanka, you know. Illa hadda uncivilized wearing. That kill him over Kahana. That attitude, Adanka, yeah. Whenever they feel guilty about, you know, they always blame it on someone else, you know. So everything else, we call white crimes, you know. That's what I had FGM, you وحاس Somali man. Marku Winston Churchill, the greatest man, when he was castrating over 300,000 people in Kenya. That people seems to forget that history. You know, so what it is, bro, I know what's with you. It's not even about, you know, we're gonna enslave you or colonize you. We're gonna rob your minerals. We're the one holding the value. We're the one who puts the price. We hold the price. You will never succeed if it's not from our hand. That's what the Adan would say to you, you know?
No, but the problem is, one thing is, Askati, I hear you, but I think the Somali youth and everyone across the board, you know, whether you're from Djibouti, Somaliland, Galbed, Comfort, wherever you're from the peninsula, we're moving away from the African sentiment. Right now, it's about rebuilding. I don't give a shit about the rest of the African nation.
Bro, why are you going to be built? And, you know, and these people are like your gods, you know? These people are holding your civilization in your hand. They can crush you that easy. All that to say,
don't think so.
Somalia's a terrorist state. Somalia's a terrorist state. And you're back to being Stone Age, backwards, you know? And on top of that, like, you will never succeed economically, you know? They will never make sure you unless we all African like have the same voice of saying, you know what, these white people, bro, like they say they're so good and they have blessed us and, you know, free us and all of that. Like there's a reason our people starving
that
to death.
mentality. No, but do you think that mentality that Adan, Nika Adan, Kawana, it's a sentiment that's been pumped from I had to say this from the African American community where it doesn't relate to me.
It's true, brother. It's true, mate. You will never be nothing.
All this white supremacy, oppression, all of that, I really don't give a shit what they care about what, son. Like we've been, like I say, 30 years of disaster. Ronaldo school again, you've got 50 flags.
Thank
you. I think you said it the best, yeah. And I think this is what's happening to a lot of I'm in different platforms, whether it's on Clubhouse, whether it's on Instagram. A lot of Somalis are trying to move away from, you know, this Dapper said victim mentality.
My victim mentality, brother. We need to for the future.
No, it's not even that. See this, yeah. No, but you see this.
Build a house, bro.
No, but Scotty, I hear you. Listen to this here. والله فاهم كوحة اللي بلادنك أفكي سكو فاهم حويان كانوا أورتي سكو فاهم ما Somalia. والله we immigrants don't need none of this, you know. African American, you know, Malo, rhetoric, African, this, you're
okay, for your own benefit. You build a house. These people are gonna come and destroy your house. هذا والله اللي يقول هذا لك الدنيا دكن وحوين. هذا كيف تقول وحوين دكن مرة إلا استعلنا وين دكن. You know how got in a. أنا كده المدو كمان the whole middle race. Black eyes casino, you know, دكن عدان or you know juke casino or they can never recover from that shit. We have to think about that type of weapon as well because only one more generation from now, everything can go back down the drain again. Wow, but this thing, what kind of democracy, farmaajo, brother, until this adawayashan iska celino iyo oo meel saarno moogtahay ma aha ati victim mentality okay iska dhig, but we in a straight up war with these people, brother. Dadku way taageen wadankiina iska noqda saan sameeya markeena gacmaha markeena kala daafayaan mana daafayaan da walaalo waxa way hadda farmaajo mustaqbal hadu let me just say one thing before, brother. If they don't like what farmaajo is on, they're gonna try to get other leaders, assassinated and that. That's what they do, brother. Corruption. واحد قصصها هنا قصان. والشغال هذا يا ترى روش كويتك الموقف الشغال كبير man.
Okay, askati on صعد ولا وانكو فاهمين. Let me mute يروح يجي صوت because some mad background noise there. Another, everything you're saying, it just sounds like African American literature, black power, white supremacy. This I'm saying, well, bro, listen, put that to aside. I've got my own real issues to deal with. And I feel like Somali, a lot of the nationalists, a lot of the people what done is are waking up. There's this new breed of what they want to see pride, they want to see and a lot of people are deep in it. These are not really our issues. A lot of Somali brothers and sisters are kicking this, like, really truthfully. Like I said to myself, I've never experienced white supremacy or Adana being racist to me in the UK. I've never come across that.
Bro, my time in London, this is the problem. Sorry, bro.
No, go ahead. But it's when you focus
the problem is, brother,
you're focusing on problems that doesn't affect you. Does that make sense?
Look, this is what I'm going to say to you, how it affects you, brother. Let me tell you. Water, you may see that timber. Somalia kind of sort of, like I've no or clean never been so no. I do you what I look at I measure Africa. Number two, however, no straight up election or politician and nothing goes without the say of these Adam people. We end up however system calling or whatnot. System better, yes, but every African nation in a system cast to Sudan. Otherwise, we want a democracy nation. We go Somalia our country was democracy. I don't think democracy is not going to was fish gun world. What shall I mean to agree with? I am not saying I don't system can semeno. إلا كبح له عدان استدق نويو فرماجو democracy وده كنا واحد democracy رونا صوص كمان عطوا واحد عدان واحد أنا واحد ليه هو ناس كعلنا استمر أدقنه هذا we can move forward والله هذا أوكي ودورنا واحد واستعانت هاي we have to come and go we can't just sit on the back bench and wait for something nothing إن سوى nowhere like كده واحد democracy عدان دورشة عدان لما in peace كلا دورنا أساس if it's not from that كنا وحنا كنا بنو
again I think again Ascati I had the same argument brother S here where look societies it's like this now S and Ascati we can't look I wish for an ideal world that we live in but we don't live in this ideal world so Somalia if the world is heading this way a fully functioning whatever peninsula, whatever you want to call it, shouldn't it be Mihimada? And instead of these rhetorics or for me, white supremacy is a myth that's created to it doesn't really affect me, regardless what you say. And all these nations, what then can I son? That is the main key problem.
Bro, but I don't think you're getting
let Brother S come through.
Okay, I just want to mention one thing, brother, and I'm going to mute for as long as. Kalluunka markay chemical ku daadinayaan markabyashaas kalluunkana guranayaan the only reason of piracy soo baxeen waxa white supremacy maaha.
Brilliant. No, it's because what didn't keep our Baba. If you have an Aiden and a Navy base and you have people coming into your shores and what that okay, no one would ever do that to you.
But they run the world, that's the they run the world. Their system, we go from other democracy card. What system Adan, they don't even have democracy themselves.
Yeah. Recent again we're live streaming the updates right now, they're counting and boy, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. What I think Roderick is saying, look, he's ahead by 20 votes. Hassan Sheikh, I don't know Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. You get me? He's above by 2. Apparently, this is what the board is, so I don't know what's going on. So anyone that has keep us up to date. It's in the background, so anytime we're gonna play the volume if you want. But guys that are listening to it, please, any of the mods, anyone, please keep us informed and let us know who is. So like I say, brother S. Okay, brother S wanted to say something. Brother S, come through.
Nah, bro. All I was gonna say is you see your 2 points. They're close to each other, but what I think the other brother's trying to say is what we need to
Yes, yes.
do. Yours is yours. You're talking more about racism and white racism going on in Somalia. You're right. That doesn't it isn't clear in Somalia. What he's trying to talk about is how these countries are influencing these white countries, so the Americans, the British, how they're influencing the continent more so.
Okay, I hear
Exactly,
that
bro.
S, yeah. I hear where you two are coming from, but I'm saying as Dr. Somalia, yeah, we know what's going on. Like we've been fucked over for the last 30 years. If we would, like you said, oh, there's toxic oils and things. If the country had a full functioning navy systems, no one would be able to do that.
Nah, man. Bro, there's
They
countries
can,
all
well,
around the
they
world
can.
that this happens to, and this will
I agree
continue
with
to go on,
Khalid,
even
bro.
if Somalia.
They
Sorry,
can. They might
Asmati,
not be able to do
Asmati,
with Taliban, but they can with us. Because Muzo
Asmati,
Banai,
the
you have to
background noise.
understand what I'm like Muzo Banai, and these people they're our masters, slave masters, yeah. And the mentality, we're going to continue to be slave masters with these people. That all a system that that goes into the public spending, control, all of that shit. Well, that's in where. That's the higher. If you don't do this, we're gonna cut your funding. When have we ever needed the funding from these people? But the point is, well, I'm gonna keep it short as well. I just wanted to add on what I think about this election, yeah, and just keep it very, very short. On the Farmajo, I see he's trying, but I think the only problem I have with him, he keep mentioning this word, democracy or what has, which Adan can never even have democracy. Melo بس كده قرحنا يانا. Melo بس كده عروض يتبع. They don't know nothing about democracy. لكن كان غير لده غير لده. Adan has who's very today. We used to work for an oil company exploiting oil out of so many other African nations. Casa وكتر. We should never trust this guy.
So if he doesn't run on a platform of democracy, what platform do you want him to run on? Islamic government, communism, what?
Anything that's not hypocrisy,
Thank you.
you can run on democracy, but democracy are better or shaitan, Illuminati democracy. Why is one of them?
Okay, I hear that. But again, I think this is where I think me S and I think you lot we're all struggling to do. Are we romanticizing how the world runs, or are we really being realistic? Because I'd rather have a realistic conversation. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
We live in a society. This is how people govern each other. Right
Bro,
now, all this
but we're
voting,
going.
all of this. Go ahead.
Nah. You know what is your point? Is I understand where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, what we have to say is we have to aim for what the dean is stating, bro. We can't go to because at the end of the day,
I totally
Barkat
agree with you. I
at the
totally
end of
agree,
the day,
but
Barkat
but
what are we
we
gonna say to Ilahi? Oh, dadka kale democracy ya rabban, so anaga dokun democracy ya rabna. That's not how it goes, bro.
Well, can I add something? Somalia needs to modernize. It needs to go forward. It needs to develop its own way of modernizing.
So how do we do that? Explain.
Just like how Ataturk modernized Turkey. He's a bit of a fool,
But
and we should
هذا
modernize.
دينته وديمقراطي عمرو هذا دينته وفيري liberalism and وهو democracy كده وحيابات كلها أنا كسمة ممكن liberalism like there's human rights respect of human beings treat everybody equally واحد دينته allows it
Well,
democracy is
we
so
need to develop our homegrown. Listen to me. We need to develop it with the taste of Hollywood. We need to develop our own homegrown democracy, our homegrown modernization of the country.
yes
They need people
yes.
like Modena Rad. We need a renaissance. We need a Somali renaissance.
You can't be importing that shit. You can't be importing this shit. Was Akusha Gawala.
My
I'm not
first
trying to
rule
mention
is
that. Let's look at
to make the country
not trying to talk about
self-sufficient.
nobody.
My second, me as Mudain, as Madahwayna Mudain Rad. The first thing what Somali women would wear is dir'a, traditional clothing ka with hijab ka. The Manaha are gonna wear their traditional clothing. Maga'iyada traditional ka. the country shall remain unto Deen Turdi. We shall develop our own Islamic institutes that's not influenced from the outside. I shall what's it called, preserve the language.
But you can't work on dadkan وين اي كالدنيا موقع dadkan مراكز كيفوان وكل تاغيها if you don't spread that type of democracy to your people they're ready to attack. أنا وحكي يا سيدي هورتا نيكن بايدن.
I'm talking about it, and I'm talking about developing your. Why do we need outsiders? Let me tell you something. I believe that democracy, I don't even know the word democracy in Somalia. Like we should. Let me finish. For example, we've got. If you look at, we need to develop our own laws. We need to mix it with the tradition and the modern. You feel me, sir? And there's absolute makes sense that we shouldn't adopt this democracy or from the outside because it does not work for us as a people.
Can I say something? All these things that you're saying you need to develop, all these things that you're saying you need to develop. I mean, the UK spent for the last 400 years developing democracy. America spent 500 years or more. All these
Didn't democracy come from Greece?
Bro, there's not democracy. democracy. Don't give these people points. Point by sitting.
My point is,
these people democracy they use it to abuse people, you know?
My point is that it doesn't happen overnight. That's what I'm saying. All this can happen when one government controls the whole country and it controls everything in the country, and then they can decide the direction that the country is going to travel in. They can decide whether we're going to go to Islamic route or we're going to go to state route. Do you get what I mean? But right now, there's a security problem, a massive security problem. There's divisions in the country, so you can't change anything until all those divisions are cured, until all the security problems are fixed. And once everything is fixed inside the country internally, then we can decide which road we can go to and how we're going to move forward. And that's all going to take years. It's not going to take 5 years. It's going to take more than that. It's going to take minimum 10 years.
I'll be back, inshallah.
Wallah, if Abacha loses, I want him to not acknowledge the election and say that it's a rigged election and just, do you know what I mean, not accept it.
You have to, bro. You have to.
Because I know some of these MPs are paid off to support Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. Do you get what I mean? Because no one wants Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud. He's a corrupt guy. All his kids are in Turkey. He meets up with the European Union. He meets up with the British ministers. When he's not even an elected official, he's meeting up with these officials in Kenya, in the UK. You know what I mean? So I don't know what they're talking about. What are they going to talk about with him? He's not even a president. Why is he meeting up with these people? Why does he have the support?
They're bribing him for the next election, man.
Why does he have their support?
Yeah.
Why? And one thing, in the year 2020, 4 presidents have been removed from power in Africa. 4 presidents in Africa have been removed from power.
This is looking like a Hassan Sheikh win.
Yeah, even if he wins, I don't want Farmajo to acknowledge the election. I just want him to say it was rigged and that it needs to happen again. Because
the worst thing is the guy has been caught for corruption. So how has he been able to get the chance to be in the election again?
Bro, forget corruption. He's a traitor to the country, man. He's a traitor to the country. Yeah, he's gonna sell the country off. There's 56 countries in Africa, or is it 54? 56 countries in Africa, yeah. All those countries, except for Eritrea, all those other countries are exploited. And as I told you, the top 5 longest-serving presidents, the longest-serving president in Africa today is he's been in power for 41 years, and the other one is 40 years. The third one is 38. The fourth one is 27. Do you get what I mean? And these men have been allowed to stay in power because they've been selling off their country.
Look what they did.
Exactly,
What
brother.
country was it? I think is.
Do you get what I mean? They've been allowed. Listen,
it was Mali.
So
was
Uganda,
it Mali?
Let me give you an example. In Uganda, when there was a protest movement that was trying to depose the president because he's in power for so long, he hasn't changed anything. He's been building mountains. Yeah, America sent military trucks, weapons, and trained the military in order to stop the protest, and they brutally stopped the protest. They shot the civilians.
And guess what, brother? Guess what? Why Adanka will say these people are not dictators. Everyone else are dictators, you know.
Brother,
Like
can you stop saying Adan, bro? Because I don't know who you're talking about when you're saying Adan. Say what the mother.
Bro, when he's saying Adam, he's talking about
West,
the Americans. He's talking
the
about
West.
the British.
The
Okay,
system
say
of
it like
Adan
that.
system.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm trying to say, these people will never call these people dictators. But certain other people that want to stay in power, if they're not under the, you know, the rules and the way they want to move and that, they're dictators, you know. They're literally in the
That's
fire
good.
line.
Listen, ever since
Look what they're doing to Putin. Look what they're doing to Putin. They're making him look like Hitler right now in the media.
Yeah. That's my point. And look, let me give you another example. Yeah, look at the president of Djibouti. He's been in power for how long? He's been in power for how
Yeah,
long?
but
And
you know what's funny? That country, he's been allowed to stay in that position because of the strategic position that country is in.
Have you ever been to Djibouti airport, bro? Kamri Alakuka, the Djibouti airport, bro. Have you ever been to Somali airport? Ever seen Kamri Alakuka, any other Somali country's airport? Djibouti, Addis Katai. When you look around the airport, you see France airline. You don't even see one Djibouti airline or Somali airline.
there's a lot of foreigners in Djibouti, man. That's why. There's a lot of foreigners in Djibouti that drink Khamri. That's why Khamri is there. Yeah, man.
Supposed to go to somewhere important. He don't give a damn. قفكاس عمل يا مدحوينني you know كلشتا عادية.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is this you know this and spreading democracy or and importing democracy from Adanka, the West people, the West, yeah. In another choice, you know when. Like this brother was saying earlier, we need to use.
What is democracy to you? What is democracy to you?
Real democracy, human rights, rights for everybody, you know, respect of the human being, respect of the animals, respect of the system, you know, respect all dignities, but no hypocrisy, no unturned stones under the thing, you know. You know, like
you want real democracy.
Now what they're saying is Ukraine see almost 200 billion your weapons or addunyada weapons. Ukraine لكن حتى مذوق in America they're not even been given a grant of $1 billion, but these people spend about something like $1.5 trillion a year, you know, mother community in America. That's their spending a year. These Adam people are making so much money of these people, but they will never pay them back. This is what I'm talking about, pure racism. It's fake democracy, you know. But you will never pay back mother people what they've done. And the other hand, we are classed as mother people as well, especially to these people's eyes, you know. They will never fix their own problems.
Who's that?
The West. Who?
Huh?
I'm talking about America, right?
Yeah.
Recently, you know, this democracy thing, you know, when Joe Biden won election, he was using Black Lives Matters and black man had a knee on his back and all of that. That's why everybody was voting for him, right?
Yeah.
Now, bro, imagine this, he just signed again another bill, to give another 40 billion to the Native Americans. He's already given another 50 billion, and he's done so much for the Ukrainians. He's given them almost like, I think about 75 billion in weapons, for free and that. And that's just America. Britain are giving them weapons. Even Denmark and Sweden and certain European countries are helping Ukraine, right? Everybody is helping Ukraine. No one cares about Syrians and Afghani and
there's a there's a reason they're doing that, and the reason is they're against Russia.
So we need to pull up back now, you know.
They want Russia to suffer casualties. They want Russia to suffer a lot of Russian soldiers to die. And it's NATO versus Russia. It's America versus Russia.
Imagine right now, we majority of us wasn't here, you know. You have to understand, I think majority of us we outside Somalia, Somalia. But if majority of us was not even here now.
No, there's only like 3 million outside Somalia.
How many are in Somalia?
So there's like 15 million in Somalia and Somaliland combined.
Okay. Either way, what I'm trying to say to you, bro, If we all supported Russia, as in like sad to say, you know what? When South Africa was going through the independence, for example, yeah, and fighting against these people, right? Russia was the one helping them. When Somalia was in need, and majority of these African countries, when they were in need of getting independence from Adam people, the Western I'm talking about, they're not the same class, okay? Russia was there to help us. So we do own a favor to show some sort of respect to Russia, because they were there for us when we needed them. Like right now, when Ukraine is in need, Russia was in need for us with money, with food package, with military equipment, with all type of and commanders coming down to help us fight, wars and that. That was Russia, bro.
Let me
So
say
we had our
something.
own
Let me tell
choice
you
to
something.
choose right
Let me tell
now.
you something.
I think we would have chose Russia over
Only when
America.
you're strong, only when you're strong can you support Russia. Because right now, if Amacho supports Russia, yeah, I'm 100% sure sanctions will be placed on Somalia and the Somali community
Bro,
will
this is
suffer.
what I'm talking about. We need to all come together. But he wants to post sanctions,
But
right?
what do you mean
We need to go
all
to
come
Russia, we need to go
together?
to China, we need to go to Afghanistan, we need to go to Iran, and all of us sign at the same time say, we are sanctioning these people, bro. Who
That's
has
not
more to
reality,
lose,
man.
bro?
That's not reality.
What
That's
do you
not
mean, bro?
reality.
What have they got to win? What have they got to gain, though? Do we need strawberries and potatoes from Adam people? It's
But we
them who
do,
need something
as
from
a
us,
Somali,
mate.
all these other countries
Wow.
do, bro. Listen, let me say what
We need strawberries and potatoes, literally. Strawberries
America
and
controls the
British
world.
potatoes, oh,
You have
man,
to
yeah?
face the fact. You have to face the fact. European Union, America controls the world through the IMF, through the UN, through the NATO.
This is where we
Control
need
the
to
world.
expose them, bro. We need to expose that this
And do
slavery
what?
and
What's gonna
colonization has
happen
never
then?
ended. What do you mean,
What's
bro?
gonna
These
happen when
people
you
are the
expose
one
them?
who spread democracy. These people are the beacon. If you go around the streets, if you go to the parliament right now and say you guys are racist, they find it hard to believe it because it's not indoctrinated to their brain. They're fighting so hard to not be called a racist just on the streets. Just so the worst thing for Adam they can do right now on the road or anyone on the planet is calling somebody the N-word. That's in their mindset. They don't care about, the reason for people are starving to death and, shit education being brought in schools and all of that. What am I fikiran? Ma arkan, they're not programmed to that level. So what it is, we need to expose them in their own country. And they need to come step forward and say, you know what? You're
That's
actually
not
right,
reality, man. Expose them what? And
What do you
what's
mean
gonna
it's not
happen when you
reality?
expose them? What's gonna happen when you expose them?
They're back down in it. They're
America
back
got
down in it.
exposed.
That
America got
system, they have to
exposed when
go
they
and use
invaded
another
Iraq.
system. Now they have to use the real white supremacist service system. At least now you
Listen,
see somebody coming for you,
man.
innit?
Listen, expose them, and what happens after that? They still control the NATO. They still control the IMF. They still control
We
the
pull
banks.
out, bro. We pull
They
out. We
still
don't need
control the
NATO.
UN.
Listen. Let me finish, man. They still control all of these. What was it? This America, European Union. They still control the world. Look, Russia is a nuclear power, and they sanctioned Russia. They're trying to bring Russia to its
So,
knees.
so, so,
Like,
so if we had
listen,
nuclear power,
please stop interrupting. Iran has been under sanctions, and Iran's begging for America to remove the sanctions. And Iran
that's
is
a lie.
Iran is like 90 something million people, and it's a big
That's a lie, mate.
country. It's a big
You're
economy.
disrespecting people, bro. We live a Muslim. The only problem with you Sunni people is that you like to disrespect Iran because they're Shias. But the
No, not
What do
reality
you
of the
mean, we
truth is,
Allah.
Sunni people, bro?
hold
Bro,
on, let me
that's
just
the
say the
facts,
truth.
bro.
There's
That's the
countless
facts,
Muslims on
bro.
the planet right now. After
That's the
Taliban and those
facts, bro.
people, we need to
Why
see
does
them as
Iran?
inspiration, bro. واسكعلي أنت كنا ليس أنا كم اسكعلني كنا يلبنا
No,
حنيو when they tell us to bark we bark how high we
That's
jump
the reality, wallah.
that's us mate because we're using their democracy I don't give a fuck about this American democracy
Listen, Hatana de Wing Somali, but on it, man. You have to play by the rule book because
bro أنا
Somali
دي
need
لا
the
صاحب
world more.
أول من دي لتشيرين أوك كنا دي لتشيرين أوك كنا they used to look down on the ground just to walk past these colonizers on the
Listen,
street of Somalia they
Somali
couldn't even
needs the
look in their
world now.
eyes bro so
Somali
أوك
needs the world now.
did you just forgive what they did to your war Sama يا أبا يا تذكر يا ووكيسا وأسكيل now
Listen, man,
Sama never happened you know
we can't handle sanctions. Hatina sanctions no dosaro. Wadanka shidaal ma soo galayo.
Man, that's what I'm trying to say, Saib. I think
We can't handle it. We can't handle it. Face the reality,
hey,
sahib.
let's move on from this
Innaha
point.
gafur reality gafiri.
Let's move on from that point
Matakora,
now,
listen,
man. We're not.
let me say something. Let me say something. Imagine they said, yeah, Somalia is under sanctions. Petrol, no domaha shidaka kena, and Somalia shidal ma imanayo.
Yeah, we were already in sanction. We were not. Do you think we in any bad position?
We wasn't
They
under
have
fuel
taken away
sanctions.
98%
No,
of
answer my question.
the sanction,
محدا
2% just for you to survive on.
answer my question.
You
محدا عياتي الشدات اللي توشيو.
Aku shago. Somalia waxay u baahan yahay in new connection in a start garayaan. First he joined the East African Federation that just came up. Once you join them, you
East
have
African
more
Federation
power.
الشدات وما هيان.
What do you mean, Sa'ad? Shidal ما هو بالدنيا ترى. ما عدانيا شدال هي. Shidal strawberries and British potatoes here. ما روسا كويتي والله. Strawberries and British potatoes. مية. American كي wax u baahan yahay ii sheeg. What have they ever gained? What have we ever benefited from these people? Or what do we need?
No, please,
soo import garano doofaar ma u baahanahay mi ina soo import garano
no
waxa u baahana dadkan the reality side
no,
Somalia shidaal Somalia Kenya shidaal Somalia meel walba adduunyada Afrika Somalia
shidaal maanta tala joojiyo maanta waxaa 15 of the day shidaalka tila joojiyo where we can get the shidaal from
Saudi Arabia bro 3 times a week yeah millions out there now
guys yeah sorry guys we need to come back. Oh shit, legend is back. This is a Somali speaker's legend.
Yeah. All right, bro. My point, I think I said my point, I just want to say, I want to finish up by saying, that can هوية السوداء اللي قلنا هوية واحد نكون سمين وقرنا.
أو قبيلة أنا قلتها man, we don't do this قبيلة.
وأنت اللي كنت bro.
قبيلة أنا قلتها. Hello, who's this miss? Can you switch off your camera? Your camera's on.
No, right, mate.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Just forgive and forget, mate. What the done for.
One second. I want the new speakers. Let the new speaker speak.
So yeah, brother, I was just calling in because I'm from basically, as you can see, my flag. But yeah, it's interesting from what I'm hearing. I'm kind of new to this channel. But yeah, who do you guys think is gonna win the election?
It's already done,
bro.
Hassan Sheikh.
Hassan Sheikh won.
Hassan Sheikh, yeah, it's right here.
The old president.
No way.
Yeah, he's back. Wow. He's back. Mahmoud, where's my brother Mahmoud, man?
Oh, yeah, my brother.
Khalid, you don't know what's going on in it. You know, Hassan Sheikh is back in it. Hassan Sheikh is back.
Hassan Sheikh مراكن يشغل موقع مراكن يقدم بس.
حسن الشيخ نيو قال وحكس وشقيا ودنك والله.
وحمغلبة مالي وحمغليا.
ناقعت على قضية والله.
في واحد بعد شقة مالي وعاكي. دقالي بيوسع على الموقع ملب دقالوا على الموقع يسقط كيس شباب كمية موجي وعاهين. The guy starts below the opposition is on this side. Hassan Sheikh and these people on this side, right? American military helicopter came down and just took him out of the air. And nobody's seen him for a while, okay? And then when he came back, the guy who had the Matiba. That command to the Kahad La Yohas was the Matiba because Adania Sheikh was so Bahaba. This is the Hassan Sheikh we know about.
Hawaii. Obviously, because these guys, they've been payroll code the Emirates and the Kenyans, and so they're gonna be making a lot of you know.
Linkas,
for the next 4 years.
School
one man vote that's the only option we've got left.
Well, this guy, he's not even educated. Before, and he wants to be a prime minister. You know, right now, brother, I don't know. You know what? The point is, we have to all agree that we need one person, right? And accept that person. And I don't see any one of these people. We all accept them.
Okay, I want to play devil's advocate, guys. I want to play devil's advocate. We all like. I think it was me and brother Muhammad in Norway one time. We were trying to stick up for Hassan Sheikh. It just backfired or something, especially on this app in it. Yeah, I want to say, do you think he could learn from some of the mistakes that he did and move the country forward, or fresh new start for Hassan Sheikh and a fresh new start for the mother Somalia? What do you guys think?
Yeah. No, man. Sharmota, man.
No, guys, come on. You know, let me
let
say my bit then, quickly. And basically, I know how much he's learned something for the last 4 years or 5 years from Maja, because Farmajo showed them what a president should be like, and the powers the president has, and the authority he has had, and not relying on foreigners. There's a lot I think they learned from Farmajo. Hence why these guys were so keen on coming back to Kursi Nuksol. So I see at least, wallahi, I can't see.
People
Remember
are not
those days?
stupid, man.
Let me say. Remember those days of Gabre? I can't see those days again. Wallahi, because if he does that, that's like, wallahi,
Bro,
big
he is
hell.
gonna do that. What do you mean, bro? He is gonna do that.
Oh, like
He's
the
gonna do
reality
the same
is pointing
thing,
towards
bro.
that.
Because he has the same support. He has the same support people that have been supporting him, and he's gonna do what they want. And he's
you know
done
what
that
that's gonna
before. He did
result?
not increase the military. Yeah, he did not fight for the Badr. He did not fight for Hawada. Like, do you get what I mean? And he did not fight for the investments that Farmajo got into the what was it, like getting drones from Turkey, building the military, building the
Infrastructure.
police force, like sending military to Eritrea. He's not going to do none of that because
There
he
is
would have done
something
that
about
on
arrogance.
his term. And don't think, oh, just because Farmajo didn't do rocket science, bro. Everyone in the country was
And
saying,
he
oh,
tried,
you
bro.
need to
He
train the
tried to.
military.
He
We
showed.
need to train the military. He decided not to do it. It's not like Farmajo he's a wizard and he's Einstein. These are simple things that are needed to be done in order to create a strong government. And he chose not to do it.
Okay, let's ask
Sheikh
ourselves.
Mohammed when he
Okay,
was the
what do we
president.
want
I
from
remember
Hassan
the
Sheikh?
arrogance of Farmajo Mokte. وش فاني كده دكتور.
Let me say one thing.
In a way,
Let me say one
No,
thing.
guys.
When
Okay,
he,
let me ask you this question now. Feel it? Hassan Sheikh is gonna inherit a dawlat that's got a fully built military power في عنها ستان. لور خيبو ديهين. A functioning market,
Gania.
civil service.
Wallahi,
One second.
Gania.
خلاص
He's
انا
going to take it
كبغى
back.
ولا
No, hold
البلادي
on.
وين؟
He's going to take it back.
One mic, please. Everyone, just let me Roger.
Hey, one second. Let me mute.
Okay, basically, so look at this here. This is what Hassan Sheikh is going to inherit here: a functioning government with a military, with civil servants, with payment services, all sorted out. العكس صفة على لقاته، صفة على شقيه. تضفي عن أو أقول لك كان position. So now, the next thing that we need, Somalia or Hawaii, stability and security. Interscaling no kudu in the next 4 years, and create opportunity for one man vote here. He's not able to do that. Yeah, everything that Farmajo they were claiming that Farmajo couldn't do in 4 years. Yeah, he's probably then had 8 years on him for himself not to do it. Then we'll see him as a failure, Marcus. And we all that.
He's already a failure.
Hold on, let me finish this.
شباب كنا will they get power with this guy?
That's how we're gonna know who this guy is heading and how he's gonna rule the country. As soon as this guy
So
brings
do we
Emirates to
forget
the
the
table,
past?
it's done out here.
Maxi, did you forget the past?
وكالي
This guy has
ولا
been president
ميلا
before.
ميلا قال على مقطع هل واحد نشجع ولا what about شباب كويس? You think these people are gonna get more power now and they're gonna go
Yes.
further and further?
Yes.
Because what it is مريقن كوي قدم بيان to sabotage وطن واحد شباب كوي against these people were banned where كواسا واحد دن وضع هو كعجاجة كلام. How do you get 300 Land Cruisers out of the dealership if you know in the hands of these people مقطع وده كان عشان شيخن وبلد شيء ده كان مقطع مريقن ولد شيء
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yes, that's a nice comment.
Let me ask Maxi. Wait. Let me ask Maxi this question. Yeah. Maxi, you're saying, Maxi, you're saying.
Askari, yes,
let's work for Somali unity.
Yeah, we're gonna run for another hour. So if you're back in an hour's time, let us know. But carry on.
Respect, brother, respect. And yeah, let's hope we can get somebody that
every
can bring
Sunday,
Somaliland and Somalia together.
Every Sunday we're back 8 o'clock here. Every Sunday.
Most definitely.
Next stream, Rodrigo. I think the next stream has to be if Hassan Sheikh's won. I think I might have to do this on Tuesday, Wednesday. Hassan Sheikh, the stream about him, the new president. What do you guys think? If he's
over for Somalia, man. For me, I lost hope, wallahi.
Why has everyone lost hope? Why is everyone so skeptical about this guy?
Because we're fucking Sharmoto, bro.
His history
Bro,
says
the
it all as
the
well.
guy's corruption is.
Bro,
No,
I can
listen.
name
Let
so
me.
much here, but the thing is, I don't want to dwell on the past. You know, well, like there's so
Bro,
much.
That's what I'm
what do you
trying to
mean you
say,
don't want to
Maxi.
develop? No, what do you
Yeah,
mean you don't want to develop?
dwell on the
Bro,
past.
listen, yeah.
Dwell on the
Let
past.
me say something. There's 56 countries in Africa, yeah. All those, apart from Eritrea, where they have no no UN program, no UN aid, nothing, and they manage their own food, they manage their own everything, they control their own stuff. Do you know what I mean? They produce their own stuff. Apart from Eritrea, all the other countries are exploited. Can I repeat that word again?
Facts, yeah, facts.
Exploited.
Big
And can
facts.
I say one other fact here? The 5 longest serving presidents in Africa, yeah. The longest serving president today, he's still serving today. He's in president today. He's in power today. He's been serving 41 years. The second one, 40 years. The third one, 38 years. The fourth one, 27 years. I forgot the fifth one's number. But these are the they've been 41 to 27 years in power. And no one calls them dictatorships. No one says, why do you hold elections? No one says, why are you still in power? Because they are selling the country's wealth to the outsiders, to like America, to Europe. Do you know what I mean? The minerals, all the 60% of like the global like resource is in Africa. And every year, more than 500 billion is being taken out of Africa every year. And the people are still poor, dying of hunger, dying of. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm trying to say. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, he's the same as all those other presidents in Africa that allow their country to be exploited, because he has secret dealings with these countries. I mean, with the European Union, he saw the minister from the the UK for the European Union. He meets up with them, and he was even a president. This is when Farmajo was serving. He was meeting up with American ambassadors in America, in Dubai, in Kenya. What, like he's a president, but he wasn't a president. But they were grooming him. They were like, and now look, he's coming up. He came up for the election and he won. And before that, he had dealings with these presidencies. And all his kids are outside the country, as in like this guy, most of his life, he's been living outside the country as a foreigner. All his businesses are outside the country you know what I
Swear,
mean?
someone asked you, I disagree. Somalia is a different comparison to 2012 Moko High State. So do you think, guys, this is what is Maxi, yeah? Let's sometimes I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Do you think in the last couple of years he's learned?
Exactly.
Do you think
No.
sometimes a man could, let's give him the benefit of the doubt, he's got the kursi, he's the man in charge right now. Everyone's all the ministers have voted for him. So this is the guy that looks like Mesha Sigahu Gaminia. Can he learn and say, you know what, I've got that history, and be that guy? Can he become that guy? Because sometimes some jobs, look, like being a president of Somalia, it's a difficult task.
100%.
Yeah, what do you think, Maxi?
100%. And during his time, Wood Sasamala Lahain, you know, like I understand that. And this is why I can't make judgment until I see what he does. Now that he's got that position, like literally, I'm not gonna sort of start slugging him off until I see what steps he
What about the
takes.
last 4 years?
When he was a Mu'arad, I never.
No, when he was
never
the president.
Up
When he was the president.
up until yesterday, the guy, I never rated him because of the links that he has with the Emirates and the opposition and how they were going about it. Like the way they got onto Farmajo, يعني دولة دهان, حضرته كهلي شري. He's not presidential material for me. I'm telling you that 100%. بينالنا وحوار في كل درس وانين مدحوين اسمها او هذا قبيل ما مركو بس معانا اسوق بينه. لا, who are you president for? marka ani abgal iikicinaysi instead of being someone Somali that kicin karo, oo Somali hogaamin karo, not someone like or karan le sometimes the rhetoric that he gives when he's giving those speeches like to
so people. Hold on, are we complaining about his qabil now? We're complaining about his competency?
I'm talking about had the feeling today, yeah, and galal maanta ma ka heli kari wuxuu soo suubiyo waxa kula imqana maanta laga bilaabo. I'm gonna start looking at him. So I'm gonna scrutinize him and look at whatever steps he's making. And if I see this guy is doing the right thing and is moving toward that, then obviously like that, I'm gonna then yeah, we're gonna speak out about it and we're gonna try hopefully.
Okay, can I?
get it moved.
Okay, bro. Look, yeah, I'm not familiar with Somalia politics, in depth. Like, say one thing. Who voted him in? Was it the parliament, individual, his cousins,
It
Yeah,
his
was
these
the
brothers, the
ministers.
MPs. It
Kabila?
was the
Who was it?
MPs, brother. The parliament.
Who are they?
Exactly.
Who
We're
do they
gonna get
work
our
for?
chance. And one man vote. He has to
Who do
work
they
for
work for?
towards that.
Now, who do the MPs work for?
They represent their communities, like a Kabila.
And
Constitution
how many Kabilas are there?
area. There's
All the Kabilas, isn't it? All the
like
small Kabilas, like
329 MPs, I think, in total. I
So
think
29 separate Kabilas, I'm assuming.
329 MPs voted for this president today.
Yeah, okay.
and
So
each one of
he's not
them.
really being voted in by civilians, by
No,
citizens. He's
no.
Civilians
been
don't get a vote,
oh,
bro.
okay. That makes sense. That makes sense why he's back.
Bro, we're working towards that. So in the next
But can I say
election,
something
in
to
4 years'
you?
time, it's gonna have to be a
This
one-man
should
vote.
be this should be a wake up call for all Somalis, man. This whole unity bullshit, in one country. This man controls maybe Mogadishu, maybe not even the whole city, yeah. And he wants to be a president of a whole country, a big country with a population of 19 million,
You
to
don't
include
control Mogadishu,
Somaliland.
bro. What do you mean? You don't control
No,
Mogadishu.
but he's supposed to control. That's where his presidential
Guys,
palace is, right?
do you know how
Yeah.
this thing works?
So the point, no, wait, let me finish the
To
point. The
let him
point I'm
speak,
making
man.
is, yeah, should be a wake up call that every part of every region of the country should يسمع ملامبة فعلا. واحد صوت كرامك. لكن هدا ليه هو this guy he can't even control the capital city where his palace is, where he gets his votes from, everything. This man controls the whole country. Come on, it's delusion and it's حاسدمه. Every part that
Well,
go on,
there's a system in
no,
place, and it's called
let me finish.
4.5.
Every no
federalism.
4.5. I know, I'm familiar with that system. The point I'm making is every gobo, Rwanda go on, they should have the right to do so, because this is clearly not working out, man.
So
We can
there's
all
no
see
way
this.
that doesn't happen in the world. Well, there's not 40
Why
governments in
not?
one country.
I'm not saying 40 governments. What I'm saying is the ones who do want to leave, and we
Lads,
do know that
Rock,
there's pot.
Maxi and Mahmoud, I beg you, and Subair S, please hold up the panel. I'm going to be back in 5 minutes, yeah?
Yeah,
basically, I'll be quick. I'll be very short. Yeah, look, what I'm saying is, if there is a place like Somaliland, just an example. I'm not stating specifically that. That's
Please don't use
peaceful.
the Somalian example. Please don't use that example.
Why can't I use the example? It's prosperity
Just
for
let
Somalis,
him,
right?
let him speak.
Because Somalia has been peaceful for the last 30 years. Somalia has not been peaceful for the
Regardless.
last 30 years.
No, I'm not comparing the
Somalia or
two.
Burpo.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not comparing the two. I'm using that as an example of what people should thrive to as a country. Yes,
Yeah, that's
the place is
comparing.
peace. What
One
I'm not
government.
really. I'm not saying it's better than that or that's better.
Okay,
I'm just
hey,
saying
go ahead.
in terms of peace. In terms of peace. Which are we talking about? Peace and prosperity, right? Mainly
No,
peace.
we're talking about one government. Because you're saying you want to cut several governments.
But are they not separate government, these two, though? That's why I'm using as an example.
Yeah, but we're trying to prevent that. We want one government.
Man, that's not going to work out, man.
Let me give an example. Gurigaga qofwalba muu ka talin karaa. Mise hal qof baa ka talin karaa.
No, but you know the thing what I'm trying to, the main point I'm making is ماشي قاعد Somali هذي Somaliين والله قاعد قبطة. They're doing good. Wait to stand. We want to leave. Oh, shake the hand and go. Same as the president. If a president gets ousted out peacefully, what sportsmanship is? We shake each other hand. We keep it moving. So why can't we do the same here? Maybe I'm just saying it's good to try new things.
I'll tell you why you can't.
I'll
tell you why you can't do the same here, because this country this mentality that you have, yeah, this country has had democracy for hundreds of years, so they have a stable democracy. Somalia did not have democracy for 5 years, forget 100 years. So it's a beginning democracy. We're finding out the rules, how to do stuff, you know what I mean? It's like a baby walking. Whereas the UK, America, these countries are adults already. That's why. And if we can't have several governments, because that would create conflict, that would create wars, because these several governments will have different views of how to do stuff. And then they'll argue, and then they might fight over it. There's no country in the world that has more like 2-3 governments inside it. There can only be one government. And that's how this, like Nabi Muhammad alayhi salam, there was only one leader. It was, you know what I mean? It was under him, and he had his 4 generals, 4 ashabis. Do you get what I mean? There wasn't four levies.
Exactly what are you trying to say is basically,
what I'm trying to say is one government.
The system can also be was meant to fail. It wasn't like
yes,
this
it was meant to fail.
system.
The 4.5 system is meant to fail. 100% agree. It was made by the Ethiopian, what was it?
Exactly.
Ethiopian secret police and America created that so that they can divide Somalia, because that 0.5, yeah, it's gonna hate the country. It's gonna create problems.
So wait,
you're saying they're not even a human being.
If you're trying to build a house and the foundation,
they're not even a home.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
You know what I mean? It's like it's unconstitutional. Like you shouldn't.
In what year was this? In what year was this system introduced?
When they created that, when Sharif government.
Sharif, yeah, when we came out what was the other government called? The Kumilgak. It had a name.
It was an Islamic government. America sent the Ethiopian troops in 2007.
No, even that the Abdullah Yusuf's government. It was called it wasn't a full government.
No, 4.5 system came out 2007.
That's the word, transitional government, and then
transitional.
Yeah.
But what happened was, if you guys don't know, in 2007, Ethiopian troops invaded Somalia, and then they captured Mogadishu. Once they captured Mogadishu, they said, we want to decide how Somalia is going to go in the future. So let's create a division. Let's prevent Somalia from uniting. Let's create conflict within Somalia. So we're going to create the 4.5 system. Yeah. And they decided that system. And then Sharif, Mareka Kautage Sharif, they picked him up by a helicopter, and they were like, we're going to elect you as the president. Do you get what I mean? Because listen, the reason I'm telling you that they picked him is because listen. It's because the military was controlling Mogadishu.
Guys, I think there's some breaking news. Yeah, let me play the audio to what's going on right now in the background.
marka koowaad waxaan samaynaynaa madaxweynaha ku guuleystay xilka madaxweynaha mudane xasan sheekh maxamuud waan la dhaarinayaa markii la dhaariyo kadib waxaan hadal siinaynaa musharaxii ugu dambeeyay madaxweynaha hore mudane maxamed cabdullaahi farmaajo hadal siinaynaa waxaa ku xigi doona madaxweynaha guuleystay markaas kadib shirka la heli doona tartiib ha loo fadhiyo buuqna ha la yiraayo walaal idinkoo aad u mahadsan madaxweynaha waxaan ku soo dhaweynaynaa in maaragtay dhaartii maado gudoomiyaha maxkamadda sare dhaarinaya intaas hal isu dulqaato walaal idinku aad u mahadsan gudoomiyaha loo yeeray marka koowaad waxaan u yeeraynaa gudoomiyaha maxkamadda sare si uu dhaariyo madaxweynaha guuleystay waxaan kale ugu yeeraynaa mudane madaxweyne xasan sheekh maxamuud si aseen ugu dhaarto
بسم الله
الرحمن الرحيم.
No, it's mad.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. marka koowaad waxaan u hambalyeeynaa madaxweynaha la doortay waxaan ugu duceynaynaa xilkaasi weyn ee loo doortay ee aynu hogaamiyo qaranka jamhuuriyadda federaalka Soomaaliya waxaan leenahay ilaahay xilka ku fuudeeyo mudane madaxweyne 5 sano 3 bilood iyo 7 maalmood kadib waad halkan xilka ku wareejisay maanta waxa halkan lagu dhaarinayaa dadka dalka iyo diinta islaamka iyo dastuurka Soomaaliyeed waxaanu ku doonaa insha Allah taala dhaarta uu jideeyay qodobka 96 ee dastuurka ku meel gaarka ee jamhuuriyadda federaalka Soomaaliya kitaabka gacanta saar midig daartiina waan bilaabaynaa insha allahu tacaala waan idiga daba odhani waxaan ku dhaaranayaa magaca ilaahay inaan xilkayga u gudanayo
He's using the Bible, bro. He's not using the Kitab.
waxaan ku dhaaranayaa magaca ilaahay
waxaan ku dhaaranayaa magaca ilaahay
inaan xilkayga u gudanayo
inaan dalkayga
xilkayga u gudanayo
inaan xilkayga u gudanayo
si daacad ah
oo
danta
dalka dadka
iyo diintu ku jirto
dhowrana
dastuurka qaranka iyo shuruucda kale ee dalka u yaala wabillahi tawfiiq
Guys, hear it first, man. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. So, Manlem, is this live? Maxi, is it live right now?
Yeah, it's live, broski. Yeah, it's him.
So should we just play it? Should we just keep playing it?
President. Yeah. Let me
just keep playing it.
We know who's gonna make the prime minister. It's gonna be another fucking fat. Then it's gonna be the next prime minister. Abgali MJ's.
Wallah, it's over. Khalid, listen. Wallah, it's over, man.
Okay, the HG community. You know what I mean? The Habibgiri community. What is your sentiments right now?
But like I said, man's gonna give the guy a chance, yeah. But obviously, there's the other thing I just thought about now. Who is he gonna make the prime minister? Yeah.
I know. I saw you, Maxi. You've asked that question. I said Khalid from Somali speakers, but I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I might get banned for Somali. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. We'll go ahead.
No, but that's a big question there, because from there, once he puts Denny in that seat, yeah, you can see the disaster Somali belong to. ماشي واحد شكل to a family now, and
yes,
it's خلاص for us.
Well, one question here to all of you. What about all the 56 presidents?
Should we listen to this?
I can't hear it.
One car family tree. Let me play this.
Play that.
Yeah, go on.
Because this is live, isn't it, guys?
halkan ku soo gabagaboobay doorashadii soo socotay muddo caawa waxaan rabaa halkan inaan ku soo dhaweeyo walaalkay madaxweynaha cusub xasan sheekh oo aan leeyahay hambalyo ilaahayna waxaan uga baryaynaa in hawshan dhibka badan uu ilaahay u sahlo hawl aad iyo aad u adag weeye wax sahlan maaha kulligeen aan ilaahay u barino inuu hawshan u fuudeeyo annagana waxaan u muujinaynaa kulligeenba solidarity wada shaqayn soo dhaweyn madaxweyne soo dhawow ilaahay hawshan dhibka badan Allah ku sahlo.
That's respect, you know. I rate that
100%, yes.
I rate that I think this is
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. maantana waa maalin kale oo ka mid ah maalmihii taariikhda ay samaysmaysay dalkeena Soomaaliya waxaan rabaa inaan u mahad celiyo dhammaan baarlamaanka federaalka ee Soomaaliya iyo guddoonkiisa sidoo kale madaxweynaha Maxamed Cabdullaahi Farmaajo halkaan ugu soo dhaweeyay asagana waa u mahad celinaya waxaan u mahad celinayaa ra'iisul wasaaraha jamhuuriyadda federaalka ee Soomaaliya mudane maxamed xuseen rooble iyo guddigiisii doorashada ee soo daadihiyey doorashadan muddadii dheereyd sidoo kale dhammaan madaxweynayaasha dowlad goboleedyada ee deegaanadii ay madaxda ka ahaayeen ayaguna ka soo dhaqangeliyey doorashadan oo baarlamaankan sharafta badan ee muuqaalka qurxoon ee maanta nala jooga ay ka yimaadeen dadka Soomaaliyeed dhammaan waxaan leeyahay waa mahadsan tihiin intii sabab u noqotay in maanta meeshaan la soo gaaro dhammaantiin waa mahadsan tihiin madaxweynuhuna waa ku mahadsan yahay in asla maanta halkan uu i garab taagan yahay sidii aan marar badan oo hore ku celiyey dalkeennu wuxuu u baahan yahay inaan hore u soconno inaan dib u noqonno uma baahna gocasho uma baahna tabya uma baahna waxaan u baahannahay wixii jira ee tabasho ah mustawa kasta ha la ekaadeene inaan daaweyno sidii aan maalmo dhoweyto markii aan iclaaminayay murashaxnimadeyda habeen dhowed aan ka dhawaajiyey iska aarsi ma jiro isdabagal maxaan ku yidhaahdaa ku salaysan siyaasad ma jiriyo dalkaani qawaaniin ku filan oo leeyahay haddii wax isbedela iyo wax lagu kala duwan yahay ay yimaadaan qawaaniinta ayaan la tiigsan doonaa ilaahay idankiis ee qof walba sida la quman ma yeelin dadka Soomaaliyeed dhibaatooyinkii muddada dheer soo gaaray ilaa iyo maanta la joogo wixii ka horreeyo dhan waxaan leeyahay walaalayaal xanuunka murugada xusuusta leh lama iloobi karo laakiin waa la cafin karaa ee aan iscafinno
kuma cafin
qalbigeenna aan hagaajinno aan ka fikirno berri yaanan ku mashquulin shalay iyo wixii soo dhacay haddii aan la yidhaah waxaan ka shaqayn doonaa berri qurxoon mustaqbal qurxoon dal iyo dad qiime iyo sharaf ku leh adduunka waxaan dhaqan gelin doonaa alhayskaygii ahaay Somali heshiis ah.
He's already planning how to master us.
It's not even that. One thing I read about just that speech, well, he knows how to talk, man. You gotta give this guy his props.
Listen, wallahi billah either way, yeah.
New president.
aad iyo aad ayaan ugu mahad celinayaa baarlamaanka waxaan aad iyo aad ugu mahad celinayaa walaalkay garab taagan Maxamed Cabdullaahi Farmaajo oo ah madaxweynihii iga horreeyay aan xilka halkan kula wareejiyay inuu maanta igu wareejiyana sharafay anigana ii tahay asna waa u tahay dabcan dadka Soomaaliyeedna waa u tahay muuqaalkooda iyo karaamadooda qurxoon aad iyo aad ayaad u mahadsantihiin wassalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatuh
alistijiyo xildhibaanada fadhiisteen madaxda baxaysa madaxweynaha cusub iyo madaxweynihii hore ayagaa horumaraya yaan la isjiirin tartiibtii deganaanshaha la muujiyo marka ayaga baxan
This is a history written. Wallahi, let me be saying. Listen, let me.
I think. Can I say something?
Let me. Wallahi, be like, please.
Go ahead.
This is a history written in Somalia. No president has ever come back twice in Somalia. This is a history. Wallahi al-Azim, anyone that hates against, even me, I was a hater because I just didn't like his politics. Like, Wallahi, I'm proud. I wish him all the best. Maybe he will change his views this year and he will bring out some prosperities and maybe bring out some changes in Somalia. Like, Wallahi, this is history written. No other president in the history of Somalia came back twice. Yeah? Viva Modulot, Viva Abgal, Micah Sidar Akubahi.
And that's exactly the problem with Somalia.
And it's not like
Wallah, what history صعب كل حماده بس كوية.
ولا بادية ما تغنيه.
Never came back twice in Somalia.
Okay, now look, listen, the brother has a valid point. Let's be honest here. He said a couple of profound things. He said something that are beautiful that I like. Again, thank you. And again, you know what? I want everyone on Somali Club, Somali speakers, to give a round of applause to my brother K Dapper. We're going to give him congratulations from all of us. Jazakallah. He's a new father recently. You know, the one's big up.
Allah yabarak fi. Allah yabarak fi. Allah ta'ala.
You know, thank you. MashaAllah. Welcome back. Just became a father recently last week. But how things are done. Let's get back to the show. He said a couple of things. Maybe the brother has, and I said this earlier, Hassan Sheikh, he's been away from the game. He's learned. Do you think he could come back as a better person and do better?
It's very.
He still has the support of NATO and the European Union.
Listen to this here. If the guy's going to kick out the Emirates here, if the guy's going to stop working with the Emirates here and just do a flip more on them, and tell them, yo, fuck you, I just became a president and I'm going to work closely with Qatar and Turkey, then I would say yes. But Wallah is highly unlikely, to be honest. And I think this guy will just continue doing what he was doing. He already set up shop way before, like when he was the president the first time, with the summer oil companies and all this international community. So this guy is just here to finalize the thing with them. Because the only thing that can deny was the Farmajo regime was trying to fuck up everything they worked for from the Sharif's time to Hassan Sheikh's time, and then all of a sudden Farmajo needed to try to dismantle everything. And now this guy is back, And to be honest, I can't say nothing until I see the actions he takes. And to me, for him to break away from the relationship that he's got with the Emirates, wallahi, watch Allah.
We've got a comment right here. What do you guys think about this comment? We've got another comment just came up as well.
Yeah. When Farmajo was in power, all Hassan was talking about and Mu'aradka was tribalism. They were saying قبيلة باشا هبرقذ باشا مشرتين وفرماجو كسر that all this قبيلة so they
no, but
so
then
they can
again,
get support.
isn't that politics though?
Yeah, but
In
Farmajo
politics,
wasn't
I'm not
talking
gonna.
about
This is why I said
قبيلة.
you're a lot of Somalis. I'm not gonna lie to
in
you. In
Somalia,
politics,
4.5 على سكوتورتا.
thank you. That's number one, and number two, it's politics, my brother. If me and Khalid Dapper are going for the same chair, I'm gonna say everything dirty about Khalid. I'm gonna bring out his laundry.
Exactly.
It's
Okay,
politics, man.
and one
I'm
thing.
paying. There's people that spin doctors that's gonna pay to look at every dirt and to use it against you.
Yeah, I agree.
Just saying.
But
Just
remember,
saying.
they were saying Farmajo is a dictator. He doesn't want to hold the elections. He's a
But this is
dictator.
this is my friends. This is where my again I'm gonna I might do a topic on Somali speakers where do we know geopolitics or how politics works as a mother Somali? We're gonna look at through our history and all of this about politics just in general. But again, I'm gonna lie to you. Geopolitics is very nasty. It's a dirty game. Right now, you could be a nice. I'm gonna spin it. I'm gonna be like, Kate Dapper's at A. Berry Buhaga could say he farted, he did something, he pointed the finger.
And then tomorrow I will smile in your face.
Yeah, I'll
but
shake your hand.
Farmajo wasn't doing that, Khaled, though. That's what I'm saying. Farmajo wasn't saying that about
Don't lie
them.
to yourself.
And if you're not gonna do that, then you're not part of the game.
Let's not lie to yourself.
You know what I mean? He done it. He done it in a sharp way.
Farmajo done every dirty thing behind closed door. My guy was doing never.
Give an example.
Abdi, Fahad Yassin was his number one guy. So let's be honest, I'm a pro Farmajo. Yeah, I'm talking to you as a pro Farmajo. I actually wanted Farmajo to come back, but I knew realistically speaking, Farmajo made enemies. Farmajo made enemies within his own people, Tarot, within his own people, Marehan, within his own people, Rare Dini. On top of that, he made enemies with Ogaden, Majarten, Wasagili, Dulbahanta, Lekasso, etc., etc. And on top of that, Hawiya. So I knew Farmajo was not going to come back. I wanted him, but I knew exactly reality. I knew it's time. If we were talking about 4.5 system, it was Abgal's time. And that's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, Hassan Sheikh, during his regime, you know what? I might disagree with him politically, but he did start the ICJ court with Kenya. He did start a good relationship with Turkey. So, Allahu A'lam, you know, he might surprise us.
What's your motor?
Well, why would you say it's Afghan's time? What makes that?
Because 4.5 على دورة Somalia. سامحني حبيبي, wake up.
Okay, no one's mentioning European Union, NATO, America.
I'm not making this up, or is this reality, bro? This is 4.5.
No, but the thing is, again, Zubair, let's put all of that to aside. We're talking about us as in general. Let's talk about any outside influence. Okay, go ahead. That part.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not making this shit up to you. Wallahi Azim, I'm not coming here as like, I'm an Afghan. And I'm proud to be Afghan, but I'm not coming here to show boast or anything like that. Somalia, 4.5 al-Qutorta. And Farmajo, unfortunately, he gave Darot's name a smack in their boo. They kicked him out. They said, no more Darot. No more 4 years of Darot's ruling. I liked Farmajo, but no one wanted him. So this time it was Afghan.
Again, my criticism about Farmajo, one of the main things I kind of, just how you saw just now, just Hassan Sheikh, the way he's speaking. And Maxi, I said this before, yeah, and I was covering Farmajo and I was covering the thing. For 2 years, he wasn't charismatic enough. No. Hassan Sheikh he's all Sheikh, he's all hard. Do you think that's something that he regrets? Do you think sometimes it has because I think like Hassan Sheikh right now, he's looked at where he's gone wrong, and he could come correct his mistakes. But do you think that Farmajo wasn't charismatic enough? Because the only time I really personally saw a good speech from Farmajo was during the COVID. I thought, you know,
oh my God. Farmajo was unfortunately.
That's the only time I could say one speech. He's been quiet.
The problem with Farmajo was one this year. Farmajo, that he had a lot of mu'arids, okay? If you have mu'arids, he didn't do his dirty work. Unfortunately, he let Fahad Yassin and people like, what's it called, Umar Finish and people like Odawa, all those people do his dirty work. He was never there on the front line. That's why people didn't really like him. Mo nin okta or furan وحو حرين وقتها الباب قرصن or Villa Somalia never stepped out of it, etc., etc. Everything was for publicity. He was doing a very, very good PR stunt. So at the end of the day, Farmajo he built Somalia. I believe in that. Built 100%. His history will be always there. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We are now a step forward to progress. Like with Farmajo, he was always behind closed doors, and that's when he lost the people's trust. People didn't know what he's actually thinking. Everyone was assuming what he was thinking.
Can I speak?
I saw good. تفضل.
Okay, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, yeah, he's already been a president, and during his time, there was a lot of corruption in the military. There was like at least 50,000 people, or not 50,000, but like there was thousands of people, or sheeganaya inay ciidan yihiin shaati bas xiranayaan oo mushaar qaadanayaan. And he never done anything about that because his people were benefiting. Imika, you know, when Mu'aradka came against Farmacho, and those troops kept coming into Mogadishu, and they weren't real Iran, they weren't real military. It was those same people that were getting the funds from the government, and they're not military. They're qabiyalat Iran.
Listen. Okay, I
He's
get
corrupt,
that point.
bro.
Okay, I get
And,
listen.
let me say one last thing.
Okay, go on.
One last thing. This is my most important point, Mogtahay. As long as he gets support from the people that are robbing Africa, robbing all the natural resources from Africa, or that are flooding food into Africa, making local farmers like Nolosha Kahumene, the farmers that basically want Somalia to be an import country in the Wahla and like nothing exports, they just import.
That guy Jason Nairovan in Negadian.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what the thing about
He's
This is the
working with those
question.
let me address my
Wallahi,
brother's
listen to me.
point. Let me address my brother's
Wallahi,
point.
billah
He
wa
made a
tallah,
valid
he's
point.
working with those people. I
Listen,
swear on
let
my
me address
life, he's working with those people.
Hi Sahib, Jazakallah
He
khair.
meets with them, he goes to
Let
the
me address
European
that
Union
point
and
you
he
just
meets
made.
with them, and he wasn't even a president. He wasn't
Okay,
part
fair.
of the government, and he's having meetings with them. He's going to Dubai, he's going to America, he's the American ambassador.
Jazakallah khair. Let me address that point you just made right now. Let me address that point regarding the military. Recently, the Parliament of Somalia came up with a new law to increase the salary of the parliament, this military.
Yeah, and to
That's
pay
a
for
fact.
staff.
Okay, no,
To pay for
Sahib,
staff,
So the parliament came up with a new law. Now, even let's say now, I personally didn't like it when Hassan Sheikh said, "Firi, if you're not happy with what's coming to you right now, go look for somewhere else your wealth and your money and your everything." I didn't like that personally, talking to our military, the people who are protecting our land, who are taking bullets for us, talking to them like that. I didn't like that personally. Like,
I agree.
alhamdulillah, Farmajo came up with a system now that they have a better salary. Every month they're getting their salary on time with the finance. This will not now lack, inshallah ta'ala. This has been already establishment made. The law has been already signed. Hizbanaha, senators, everything. So now no one can come and say we're gonna decrease your salary unless you're only gonna talk to me about increasing. You can't come to me about decreasing it. So that's one point about, okay? Alhamdulillah, we have now one thing I didn't like about Farmajo, and I have to address that as well publicly, is that he made a lot of enemies. We can't be surrounded full of enemies.
Please answer my question. Please answer my question. My question is sharmutooyinka dhan wadanka xumeynaya oo importka soo gelinaya sonkorta, bariiska, garlic, everything that we can plant ourselves, they're importing this into the country. And they're doing that on purpose because the people are complaining, the farmers are complaining.
Let me ask you one
Just
question.
please address that point for me, because
who's importing it? I don't think you're saying delivered. Who's the deliver?
Okay, it's the UN Food Aid Program, and it's and the IMF funded, and and the European Union is funding it as well.
Okay,
European
that's
Union.
easy. That can be easy. That's fair. And if that's certain things right there, fair. And we have to address the reality, Sahib. We have to
No. Address my question.
No. Let me
answer
answer the question. Let me answer the question, Sahib. Let me answer the question the way I want to answer the question. Let's address the reality. Somalia is a failed state. Of course, there are going to be organizations and institutions who are going to be taking advantage of Somalia subsistently in 150 ways. Lakin, we have to establish laws to protect that. So now to say maybe Allahu A'lam, we don't know. I didn't feel it personally. I didn't like Hassan Sheikh during his regime because I found him too corrupt. But he did certain things that were good for the country.
Thank you.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I did say to you, he did certain things for the country that was good. He started the case of ICJ, and he did start a good relationship with Turkey. So I
He
did
was
say,
supposed to.
Allahu A'lam.
He was supposed to. The public were like,
Allahu
"Well, yeah,
A'lam,
but
Allahu A'lam. We did say, Allahu A'lam, what he does, because right now you had an issue about our soldiers, and I agree with the soldiers. They deserve every penny it comes to them. Lakin now Hassan Sheikh has no way of even mingling in that affairs because a law has been established. Soldiers get certain salary every month.
He could do other things. He could do other damages. Well, he's already corrupt.
Everyone can be doing damages. Somalia is vulnerable. Somalia is stable. From it doesn't matter if you're from Somaliland.
Yeah, but what he's saying is Hassan Sheikh can do more damage.
And I'm saying he's supported by these Quran. That's my point. He's supported by the Quran. He's supported by the European Union. He's supported by all America. He has meetings with them.
I hear that. But the problem is,
I'm addressing all your points. I think you're going around the bushes the whole time. I'm addressing you the points, yeah? And I'm telling you, everyone was supported. I'm a pro Farmajo as well, yeah? But Farmajo was supported by Qatar. Let's be really honest with each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's put everything on the table and let's not mingle here around the ball, yeah? Farmajo was supported by Qatar, was supported by Turkey, exactly. Fahad Yazir was his number one guy. Fahad Yazir was his number one hitman. Any problem Farmajo had, Fahad Yazir was dealing with it. So up to
because he's Nisa, he manages Nisa.
If daqiqa, please. If you want to talk about corruption, everyone in Somali politics, starting from the north to the south to the east to the west, is included in corruption. Like here, what we have to do is address the points, the valid points, the merits. Hassan Sheikh, with him, ICJ started. With him, Turkey, good relationship. As well, the downfalls is there was a lot of corruption. That's what we have to talk about. But let's not come with a hypothetical and say, oh, this and that and that and that. And that. Of course.
Okay, how was the security in the country when Hassan Sheikh was in power?
It was poor.
Okay. I'll give you this example. Okay, I can answer
Mogadishu, there was no business.
I'm not even a pro Hassan Sheikh, but I can answer it. Hassan Sheikh, unfortunately, with him, the soldiers were not getting a left salary. A lot of the soldiers said, Thank
you. Okay? So he didn't give a fuck about the security.
But now, look. But now the soldiers have a stable salary.
Because of Farmajo.
But we're not disagreeing with that. Who's disagreeing here?
You're missing my point. What I'm saying is Farmajo, he tightened up the security. So business increased. People are investing in the country. Like even my whole family, everyone's invested in the country. My point is, this is the point that you have to address. This is the point. Please listen. There's one question.
Don't be one of those people that's going to give everything to Farmajo. The foundation started.
No, I'm not giving everything to Farmajo. I'm giving him the salary.
And then he went to Farmajo.
I'm giving him the salary that he created that stopped the corruption, and every askari, everything, and he was getting paid on time. So
most of the leaders are Agoyer. I know my own people, my own cousins are part of the military. I know what he done. I'm not disputing it. Like I'm telling you, don't forget about the foundation. The foundation of Ideological Somalia started from slowly.
Foundation the people, it's not just Hassan Sheikh. The people behind him, everyone in the government. I'm saying the people everyone in government forced him to do the basics. That's what I'm saying. He's done the basics. I don't agree with that. That's the minimum. Like I think what I'm scared of, Walal. What I'm fearing.
I don't even agree with $300.
What I'm fearing for Somalia, is all these other presidents in Africa that sell their country, sell the resources of their country, and they're
I hear you.
supported by the EU. They're
I hear you.
supported
I
by
hear you. I
America.
hear you. I hear
That's
you.
my point, Walal. That's all I'm saying.
Your point is clear, bro. But at the end of the day, waxan inuu
But
dhaco waay
unfortunately, this will never
wadhacaysa
happen. What it will happen, you know what I will tell you
either
what
way
happened.
u dhici lahaa
Unfortunately,
run
I
hadaas
will
lagu
tell you,
sheego
I already told you why it will happen. Unfortunately, we have to face the reality. Somalia is a failed state. Ku xumaa, ku ooy, ku nax. Waa
What about everyone
reality.
else in Africa?
It's a failed state in my opinion as well, because you know why is a failed
Kulli
state?
go la dhacaya, their resources
I tell you
everywhere.
exactly. Thank you very much.
Like South Sudan, they import like $3
Everywhere.
billion
Start
of
from, I'm
oil.
telling you, start from the north to the east to the west is failed state. Like you are going into a subject that is broad.
Yeah, I'm going to the broad subject. I'm saying, listen, ninkan wadanku iibin doonaa. Jiskana wallahi bila talaa hawada uu iibinaya.
But he didn't do it during his first term. Why would you think he's going to do it during his second term then?
Because he's meeting up with these people, bro.
No,
he's
but he
meeting up
didn't
and
do
he's
it.
getting their support.
But Sahib. Answer the question, please, with logic and merits.
Okay,
He didn't do it within his first 4 years when he was president of Somalia. Okay, what
he
makes
didn't
you
do much.
now rationally? Okay,
but
thank you very
obviously
much. What makes you think he's going to now, as a new president of Somalia from 2022 to 2027?
Okay, I'll tell you what makes you think. There's 56 countries in Africa. Every president that's supported by the European Union, by the IMF and America, robs their country. Every president, and they've been doing it for the last 100 years, or like 6 to 70, 80 years. Every year, more than $600 billion of resources just leaves Africa, and Africa's poor, millions are dying every day. Africa is the richest
you're not
continent.
answering the question. You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question. I look at Africa. I look at Somalia.
Listen, I'll say in Somali, if thieves tuka ti ku caawiso wixii kaa rabtaa dee tuka tu ku caawinayo wuxuu kaa rabaa.
That's what I'm saying. Address the point. Address the point.
Hasn't received
I think
the support
you
from
said
the
right now.
Union or NATO.
You said right now. Abu Sahib, fir. أنا مكة حتلا مدينة أو بودن. Okay, I'm asking you a simple point. You said this guy done this. He's gonna do this and then this. And then work Africa got 53 countries. Abu,
yeah.
What does this 53 countries got to do with Somalia? We're talking
about.
I'll
tell you what. I'll answer your question. This is my point. Walal. European Union, IMF, Martha, Africa, that I am, bro, and you're seeing it through your eyes, bro.
We know it. Why are you coming?
Listen, South Sudan was created in 2013.
No disrespect. How old are you? No disrespect.
All right, no. Listen, don't get personal, yeah. South Sudan
no disrespect. Because you're
I like the way.
No personal attack, man. Come on. I feel like that's a personal attack.
Okay, I like the way you think.
You're a young man, and then
doesn't matter.
No, but I like the way you think, but you're being naive, unfortunately, Abu.
No, I'm thinking from the broader perspective. I'm thinking international scale. I'm thinking
when I say to you, how old are you? I'm not meaning in a disrespectful manner. If you think, I'm sorry. Like I'm saying to you, coming from a naive perspective, Sahib. You're saying to me about IMF is going to take advantage of us. This is going to take advantage of us. Of course we are. Sahib, so of course they're going to take advantage of us.
What I'm saying is, well, please listen to me, yeah. What I'm saying is, yeah, madaxweynaha IMF to English America, they were denouncing Farmajo. They didn't want Farmajo to come back. They were denouncing him. The UK said Farmajo is increasing the military. We only want 25,000 Somali soldiers. We don't want anything more than that. We know Telinian, bro. We know Amri. Like you know, Unugago.
No, okay. I like what. Okay, I think what you're saying is with Farmajo we had more sovereignty.
100%. Because they were complaining about
this way. They
were complaining about him. Because they needed
I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you with Farmajo. Alhamdulillah, we had more sovereignty.
One last point. Al Jazeera was calling him a dictator. All these foreign journalists were calling him a dictator. Was he a dictator today?
Who's that?
Farmajo, was he a dictator today?
No, I think what he did, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I have to give him his kudos. Sharaf he did his thing.
ليش شرفنا
That's
معاه
what I'm saying.
شرف
So
معانا وبتاع وحلكيس وقدية. Listen, like I'm telling you, listen. If you're saying to me under Farmajo we had more sovereignty, والله العظيم قفنا بكل مرة معي. قفوا كل
that's
مرة.
my point. Thank you so much.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not listen. I'm a rational person. أنا صاحب. قفوا كل مرة معي. Of course we had more sovereignty and we made a lot of enemies. That's what I said to you earlier. We made a lot of enemies.
Yes, because Somalia
lot of enemies.
can you any
Abo,
time
Firi. Sahib, Firi. When I don't Firi, you can only show off if you have something to offer, or when you are stable enough, like China or like Russia or like this. When you are like, you know what, I'm in a position that I don't need foreign aid. Unfortunately, we do need foreign aid. I think
yes, we do.
I like the fact that
We do.
Farmajo was saying, you know what, we have to respect our foreign sovereignty, and we have to respect our foreign interferences, etc., etc. I like the fact that he was doing it. Lakin, he was causing a lot of enemies, Sahib. Let's be really from a political perspective, not the way you like it, the way you find about it. I'm saying from a political perspective, he made a lot of enemies. Okay, so
yes, I agree.
We rely on the IMF to give us loans. We rely on, for example, I'll give you a simple example. Emirat has a hospital that is widely used in Somalia, especially in Hama. Highly used, is in high demand, is always packed. Why because of who? Because of Farmajo.
But what they were doing,
I'm not saying that Farmajo should just be like a pussy, basically, and give in on his demands. Lakin, that's what happens when you need
when you fight
something.
back.
That's what happens when you need something, but at the same time want to fight back. Yeah, you're begging. Like
How are you listening to this? He's saying basically, if you don't listen, we're going to take what we're giving you. If you don't listen to us, we're going to take the funding, the hospital.
You have to be logical. You have to be logical. But you have to be logical. This is a hospital we're speaking about, for example, right? You have to be logical.
I agree.
I use the hospital for a purpose as an example because I'm not using others because of course I want Somalia sovereignty to be respected. Lakin other tuksuno sahib, other magalah tagen, other those.
So are you saying we're going to forever in a tuksanamia?
ما
لكن
صدق حرب يبرز علاقة إسكارسينة. We have to be blaming ourselves first of all.
So Khalid, are you hearing this?
I agree with that part. I agree. I'm like self accountability.
I agree that are we going to be subservient for the rest of our lives?
I say for Modena, self accountability. I've been saying this for a long time.
I agree, self accountability, but are we going to be subservient for the rest of our lives?
Say that again.
Are we going to be subservient to the UAE, to America, to these countries? Are we going to be subservient? I'm going to call them for the rest of our lives.
No, we're not saying that. We're not saying. Did I say that? Okay, Sahib, don't put words in my mouth. Did I say that? Did I even put a slight idea and saying America and Emirat and this are going to run us? No, but I said we put ourselves in a position. Up to Sahib Firi, you are, for example, I'll give you a simple example. You are in a predicament that you need help, and you have no option. You are not. You don't have the leg to stand on and say, demand this, demand that, demand that. I think you have to at least be humble and politically discuss certain matters. Like if you are,
I want sovereignty for my country. What am I demanding? I want sovereignty for
Okay, I'm a son matter anu jogan. What kind of sovereignty are we talking about?
I'm so what we from March he's been doing it for the last 4 years.
I hate when people run away from the truth. I'm a son matter Villa Somalia. Have you not seen the Uganda motherfucking flags on the left hand side?
I agree.
In front of the ballots.
I agree. I'm someone يعني بحن هتيك على فرمات عيني كيسو استعمالها I'm صون يعني بحن so
we have to start from the I'm not saying we're not protecting our sovereignty. I don't know if you're getting me or you're listening. Like we have to start from the foundation. We're not there to preach. We are there to actually listen at the same time, give our opinion because that's the position we put ourselves in. Blame yourself, Sahib. Don't blame Adam.
Okay, let me give you an example. Eritrea. They don't have any UN aid. They don't have any UN office. There's no Amazon, and they've been fighting Ethiopia for how many years?
But they're red listed. They're red listed. What the Burburu or the dying out, bro? Have you been ever to Eritrea? Was sand. There's nothing there.
Oh no, that's propaganda. That's propaganda.
The parliament looks like a what's it called? A normal building that's based in London.
There's no one dying inside the country of hunger. They have their own farms. They make their own food.
Yeah, better school shake. Yeah, better school shake.
Bro, there's not. All right, والله دقيقة صدق أنا ما أترك دقيقة سنة دقيقة صار.
Hey.
Eritrea doesn't import anything. Like they don't import because they're under sanctions. They don't import anything. There's no UN foreign aid program. There's nothing like that. They make their own food. They make their own stuff. Do you get it? Because they're under sanctions like North Korea. Do you get what I mean? So they're independent. They make their own choices. Listen. They make their own choices. America kicked them out from the international banking system and everything. So they make their own
embargo on them. I don't know if they embargo.
That's my point. Because there's an embargo.
I know exactly. Eritrea's situation. That's what I'm saying to you. They're dying. They're not in a better position than Somalia.
No, they are in the better position than Somalia. They make their own food.
No. On that one, no. They're 100%.
They make their own. How they living then?
What do you guys think of this comment, Abdul? What do you think of Abdul's comment right now?
What does Hawiya mean? I don't care about tribal, innit? Tribal, it doesn't mean nothing. Tribal doesn't mean nothing.
No, go back. What did he say? What did he say? Sorry, let me go.
I'm Hawiya as well, by the way. Hawiya doesn't mean nothing. I don't want anything.
Hawiya حكت أورت إيشك.
هورقدر okay. أنا مساق as well. Hawiya waa Isaaq. So Isaaq ay soo korsaday.
Don't count that. Don't count that. They will post.
labadaba sheegtaa. I'm Isaaq and Hawiya.
لا but up to if you still go to Burao and you say I'm Hawiya لكن يا وهوية Isaaq. Up to there's no respect to it. Go to Galmudug, represent you people in Galmudug.
Bro, what do you mean, bro? I've been living in Hargeisa most of my life, bro. What do you mean?
People I think Subir is a beautiful product of what Somalis can achieve, isn't it? Both sides.
What do you mean?
Khalid knows me. I'm Afghan and my mom is Marahan, yeah? But I'm being realistic, yeah?
Yeah.
If I go to Ghetto and I scream Abgal, Hoide wa Marahan, I don't think people are going to say to me, let's be Somali is this way.
Yeah, old mentality.
And you know what it is, yeah? There's a topic here. You know, a lot of the, Hablan Somali, now, you know what? Let's not even get into that. That's another topic we need to discuss another day. We're going to discuss that on another day, but...
Bro, I've been to Hargeisa 2018, 2014,
let's get away from that. Let's get away from that part. Let's get back to our conversation.
Okay, this is what I'm saying.
I'm going to make a whole topic for that soon.
This is what I'm saying.
Topic to have,
This is what I'm saying, yeah. Okay, let's talk about the farmers in Somalia. That's it. The farmers in Somalia, every time when they chop off the muska kaso goyan, get ambaha kaso goyan, to give to all of that, yeah, and they bring it to the market to sell it off, yeah. The UN World Aid Program, they flood the market with food, so then no one buys the farmer's produce, and then the farmer's produce just rots away, or he doesn't make any profit, so he can't go back and farm again. That's one tactic, and they do that all over Africa. They do that all over Africa. That's why Eritrea kicked them out of the country. That's why Eritrea kicked out the UN. They said, we're going to make our own food. They kicked them out. But anyways, yeah, my point is, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud is going to work with the IMF. He's going to work with
let's address this matter.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying. Wallah, I'm saying, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, yeah, he's going to work with the IMF. He's going to work with the NATO and all these, not NATO, but European Union and America. And he's going to sell off the oil. He's going to sell it off. He's going to basically be the same president as all the other 56 other countries in African countries that sell off their resources. And I just, you know what I mean? As I told you, the president, the longest serving president today, he's serving 41 years. No one calls him a dictator. No one calls him anything. 41 years. That's it.
Guys, we've got a comment. What do you guys think about this comment? That pause, Mohammed, what do you think about this comment?
In Somali government would be finding what country is funded terrorism in our country and national security terrorism and take a serious matter.
The same country that's funding Al-Shabaab is the same countries that are funding.
This is beautiful. This is engaging with the audience. What do you guys think of this comment that one of the audience members, the editor, big up the editor, I'd love you to come on. The link's always in the chat. You can see where the link is pinned up. So if you want to come on. So, but
to answer that question, Khalid, yeah, who's funding these terrorist groups is who's funding Al Qaeda, ISIS, and all these
Daesh,
all of these. Please, while I listen, all of these terrorist groups, yeah, they serve a purpose.
Do you think that should be a topic, guys? Editor and everyone else, let me know, yeah, if you guys want to make that into a topic. Who is funding this? What foreign entities are funding? Where? What do you guys think?
It's a good topic. Like Hassan Sheikh and I want to address this point. Okay.
Yeah, let's stick to our thing. Let's stick because we got to big up the president.
It's a good topic.
We saying Sorry, there's a guy called Big Box. Sorry. Assalamu alaikum, Big Box. Hello, who are you? Do you wanna speak up? Hello.
Yeah.
نقطك man. Trolls. Nah, that's trolls, man. That's why we gotta watch out for the trolls right now. But listen, Daps, what are you saying though, my brother?
Well, but we have to listen. I want to address these points. What this my guy just said, yeah, where the IMF and all that. We rely on them. So, Anaka, we rely on them. So, if these people say to us, we're not going to fund you, to what extent are you going to fight your sovereignty? I look to the extent where Somalia will become a total failed state. So we have to really think about this logically. Allahu A'lam what Hassan Sheikh will do.
Okay, let me say.
No, Sahib, no. Are you finished, Kula? Or the root is Gilly Sahib, working at what to Kabal Sogol. Are you finished, Kula? Firi. I looked at Tawda Kudasinai or Hadlene. I did for smoked on the CEO, Sahib. So I said to you, we don't know what Hassan Sheikh will do. Allahu A'lam. Like what I know is with Hassan Sheikh, he was corrupted. And I'm not going to defend him because we're in Abgar. We have to give someone when credit is due, and we have to tell someone when they've done something wrong. Hassan Sheikh was corrupted. And unfortunately, he might surprise us in certain aspects. Like in Allahu A'lam. And currently what we are doing, the country as it stands, the country has a lot of new MPs who are put trust in Hassan Sheikh, and they are actually monitoring the situation very, very closely. So when any new agendas pop up, of course, the government will come up and voice their opinion. So we have to say that Somalia is not the same way that when Hassan Sheikh was president. Hassan Sheikh, when he took over control from Sheikh Sharif, the Somalia government was building. Remember, we were still a baby in terms of foundation. I remember when Abdullah Yusuf, and I still lived during that time in Nairobi, when Abdullah Yusuf was elected in Nairobi, in one of the hotels in Grand Regency. I remember that time. So, Alhamdulillah, and then Sheikh Sharif came, and then Hassan Sheikh came. So, Hassan Sheikh came in a position as president where Gabri was still whispering in his ear. Now, all that has slowly changed. There is certain positions, certain places have been put in place, and certain laws have been put in place, and certain people are there to protect that. So, inshallah ta'ala, who knows? Hassan Sheikh must surprise us all. But to say, oh, he's a sellout to the IMF, to say he's a sellout to this, he's a sellout to this institution, to sell out this institution, Sahib, I think if you are a beggar, you can't be a chooser. I think you can't come here with some sort of like, 1940 Somalia, where we still had Ajura and them empires, and we were running Somalia with the Abyssinia empire. Like, unfortunately, أنا كحركة إسكارسيني، أنا كقبيل حسرة سنين يلعك, and we were selling ourselves out, bro. So sometimes you have to really take step by step and come to that conclusion.
Okay. What I'm saying is, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud is not going to move us forward. He's going to keep us on that same dependent. He's not going to work to stop those imports. He's not going to work to like say for instance put tariffs on what's being like stuff that's been imported. Say like this, tariffs halasaro, taxes halasaro, so that the Somali farmer who's producing sugarcane himself can compete with them. Do you get what I mean? That's what all countries do. Like they put tariffs on imports, everything that comes in, tariffs, so that everyone the local produce can compete with them. So the local produce would be cheaper, and the stuff being imported to the country will be more expensive, and that would encourage people to start more businesses because they'll see opportunity of making money. So there'll be like one guy, once he starts making money from a mango farm, 20 other people will copy him and make mango farms like that. All I'm saying is we have the land, we have the farms, yeah, we have the water, that like the resources for agriculture, yeah. The stuff that we rely on for the world is other stuff like textiles, metal industry, anything to do with metals and all of that, and construction. But what I'm saying is the stuff that we can do, the president can move forward in building farms so that we can have food security, so that we rely less on the world market, so we can make our own grains, our own berries, the basic stuff, bro. Berries, pasta, you know what I mean? Berries, they get all the stuff like the basic grains, yeah. But even now, even like the chicken, wala soto fiya, bro. Did you know that chicken is imported, bro? Like what the fuck? What the fuck?
Everything's imported though. Everything is imported. I don't think it's just chicken alone.
I didn't like that. I'm trying. There's chicken in the country, bro. That's not my point. Khalid, can you not go to Somalia and open a little factory, little like a house thing, but it's a wide house thing, and then just create a chicken poultry, like raise like 1,000 chicken in there, and then do you know what I mean? Like anyone can make it.
But Kasi, the problem is, yeah, and I'll tell you the truth, you know that, yeah, it's the factor of we fucked ourselves over. And this is what happens. You know, this person said South Somalia has 2 rivers. They have natural. Yeah. I hear you, in abundance and produce, but we're not mass market selling to it. This is the problem. Like this, we're so heavily reliant on imports right now. I'm from the north. All our khudran and our vegetable comes from Ethiopia. We could grow that. I could buy that from you guys in the south if it's a fertile land. Sell it to the north, sell it to this place, sell it to that place. But if produce are not producing, I know there's no point in having things in abundance. There's no point in having them rivers. Does that make sense? To this
100% agree.
Storm.
But are you going to work towards building that? Are you going to work towards building that? I'm saying Sheikh Mohammed will not.
That's the question. Again, Allah Ya'lam. I'll say Allah Ya'lam. We don't.
The reason why I'm saying he will not is because.
You know what I say Allah Ya'lam, yeah? I like to, you know what, for me, I'm a type of person, I always like to give someone the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I always like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I feel like if Hassan went back and said, you know what, if he's man enough to say I made mistakes, because that's how I truly judge a man. From when a man could, not when he's at his peak, is that when he's at his bottom, when he does mistakes, can he be the type of guy to say, you know what, I've made mistakes, let me correct it, I've got a second chance at this in the international stage, and can he stick to some of the manifestos that he's making? I think that's the greater question that we need to ask. And if he does in the next couple of years, well then, Lord behold, you have to give his props. And sometimes in this game, especially as a Somali leader, whoever you want to call it, mistakes are going to be made. Plenty of mistakes. And I think that's one thing that we have to be prepared for. That's just my personal opinion, but I don't know anything else.
The reason why I don't have like the hope that you have, like when you say, "Oh yeah, that was the past. He made those mistakes in the past. I don't think he's gonna make. He might change now." The reason I don't have the hope that you have is because the same people supporting him now. They're supporting him hard. They're not supporting from Macho. They're not supporting him. They're supporting this guy. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna benefit from this guy. This guy's going to do our bidding." Same way that they support all the other presidents in Africa, like the 56 presidents. And the guy I forgot the country's name, I think it's Rwanda, I'm not sure. The guy that served 41 years, bro.
Paul Kagame.
41 years. That's older than, how old is that, bro? That's like
but then again, this is what I think like African leadership should take a look at stuff like that. I don't think this 5 to 6 years process is going to do anyone justice. If there's a man like Paul Kagame, well, if Somalia or the whole peninsula had one person that could get us to a level of, yo, I'm actually kind of proud of this guy. I'll give him to Mukudum to tell you the truth. If things are not broken, don't change it. And I feel like that's where, Western democracy and our type of haircanner needs to actually change. But what do you think about this comment that Yaya Toure made that I put up? Agree with that. I totally agree. Any type of charity, and like basically, there's no such thing as international charity. If I give you something and I'm gonna have, I want something back in return. Let me see this.
Thank you, Khalid. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what it is. Blaming everything on God is easy. I agree with that. Okay, sister, I hope you're in on. Don't know if you're a guy or girl, but I agree with that. I agree with that. As a person that takes self accountability, I totally agree with that. I say poor leadership. Poor leadership is the problem in the peninsula. Again, we should be thinking about empowering the next generation, but these guys are just thinking of Gacha right now from Smart all of them. Every single leader right now, needs to look at himself. But then again, this is what I think. Was leadership taught to these people? Like this type of Western governance, it was not taught. Yes, she said, I'm a sister, mashallah, thank you, but for me is the deeper question that we need to ask is, where these people lead, are they equipped to lead in modern times? Because I feel like politics has changed, the whole world has changed right now. Do we have leaderships that are going to actually say, I'm going to benefit the peninsula and my people first? And I feel like that's the new type of leadership Mother Somali that should put in power. Because right now, I feel like Hassan Sheikh should be, from now on to this day, was in May the 15th, to Mukumalin, to I say the next event should be May the 15th. Thank you. Enough's enough. I've been saying this on this channel. I've been saying this. If you go back to my old school, enough is enough. This is some of my rhetoric here. Enough's enough here. But do you think these leadership people in power are capable to realize that? Because I tell to myself, okay, fuck this Shanta Island. Let's make something happen different every region. If you want to raise your own flag, make a conflict. And just use natural resources to empower Dotko Somali for the next couple of years. Get to a powerhouse. That's one of my ideas. Take poverty out of the mother Somali. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, man. But I'm being realistic. I lost all hope, man. I hope for the best, bro.
And I feel like this is the problem. I feel like people like you that have lost hope. When a young man or a young brother or sister says, I lost hope, I feel like that's something disastrous. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, I know.
It's something disastrous and something about why are we losing hope? Because I feel like these people should be accounted. I don't think it's education time. It's like, yo, listen, there's only 30, 40 million Somalis. We have so much abundance, natural resources. We've got the largest sea coast, second untapped uranium sources. We've got things abundance to take ourselves out of poverty. But this sister said it the best, poor leadership. So why is the poor leadership? Why are we putting these people, these poor leaders, why are they in power? This is the question. Again, I always say to myself, and it's a new statement that I'm going to be promoting. I say it on my bios from now. I put on every bio. Don't blame the clown for being a clown. Blame ourselves for going to the circus. Why are we putting these people in power? Why? That's the number one question.
Because all these MPs that are voting, they're all foreign nationals. Most of them are foreign nationals. They're not serving the interest of the people because they're being paid millions, bro. They're all millionaires. Like most of them are millionaires. Like the MPs. And remember that money that was that was sent from the Emirates to Somalia, and it's like 10.8 million, 10,800,000. That's in the bank. Yeah, it was meant for the MPs so that they can support Hassan Sheikh, like basically support Farmacho's opposition. Whoever Hassan Sheikh Mohammed or Sharif, whoever was running, yeah, they were meant for the MPs so that they don't vote for Farmacho. And that's why Farmacho got that money and what was it? As soon as it landed from the airport, that's why he arrested that money, took it to the bank. As in, like the MPs are being paid off to support from you know what I mean? It's not like, oh yeah, like I'm really representing this community of like I really kind of No, it's like they're being paid off. That's why Hassan Sheikh Mohammed won, even though he was already a president. He never had a good reputation, and he's been known, like, all Somalis know that all his kids, all his family are in Turkey. Like, so he doesn't have, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been living most of his life outside the country. He has a lot of businesses outside the country. Do you know what I mean? So not Asokala, he's the same as all the other presidents in Africa, where whenever they get sick or they have all their businesses outside in Germany, they invest in Germany, in
But this is
America.
the thing. Again, this sister said something very powerful. Yes, blame ourselves or taking part in the fucking circus. You can't.
Yeah, but so is all of Africa.
And then look. Forget Africa. Look. Listen to ourselves here. If you're saying my man's invested, he's got hotels in different countries, this is that. Should his assets be called out? And say you're a president. How the fuck can you have hotels and all of this shit? Where did you get this money? Where have you been living? You know, before you were Somali president, you've been living in refugee camps to make this sufficient money off your own back here. Where's your assets? Show us. And then you've made it off the Somali backs.
Yes,
then
so
again,
I agree,
we put that person in power right now. The MPs have put this. This is why I say the South really needs to fix its act up. You get me?
Yeah, I 100% agree, man. And then there was the opposite of that. There was a counter to that. There was a man called Farmacho who done like he tried to do a lot of rights. As in, like, there wasn't no one is accusing him of corruption. No Somali serious person is accusing Farmacho of corruption. No one's saying he built hotels under his presidency. No one's saying he took this money from that place or that place. No one's saying he hasn't paid his soldiers. No one's saying, do you know what I mean? Like, no one's saying he's a corrupt, and he gave up his passport. Like, he renounced his passport, his American passport. He said, "Oh, I don't want it. I'm the Somali president now. I'm only gonna have a Somalian passport." Hassan Sheikh Mohammed still has his foreign passport, so he can leave the country anytime he wants. So if he lost this election, he would have left the country, went back to his businesses. Do you get what I mean? But he never lost because he had the support of everyone, all the international community. Do you know what I mean? And within inside Somalia, they paid off the MPs. Well, there's only like 300 or something MPs. They paid them off each. What 2 million. Hassan Sheikh Mohammed Udar. 2 million, another 1 million Udar. Do you know what I mean? Or future car, we promise you're going to give you this if you vote for Hassan Sheikh Mohammed. Even if they don't give them the money now, they make promises, and then everyone knows that they can fulfill their promises, and because because they have the money. Do you know what I mean? So waka Farmacho lama dooran. Even though if you look at social media, everyone was saying Farmacho. Like, all the Somalis that know what's going on in Somalia and what Farmacho had done, they're like, oh shit, this guy, he's training so much military. He's training so much soldiers. He's saying, because Amisom are raping our women, bro. Like, Khalid, do you think they bring their wives to the country? No.
Who's that?
So Amazon, bro, there's like, like all the soldiers, they don't bring their families here. So whenever they go on raids, like Al-Shabaab raids, they go to villages, Tulo and everything, and they rape the girls, bro. But it's never reported. Like, it's reported, but it's not
reported. Why? Who allowed them? You have to, again, self-accountability in Mother Somali. We have to say, we allowed these things to happen.
Like, it's common sense, bro. You're telling me all these Amazon countries, all these Amazon troops that have been inside the country, they remain celibate for 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. They never touched a woman. It's common sense, bro. Like, so when these little girls,
again, I'm trying to tell you, because you're unstable, you have to blame yourself.
I agree,
man.
It
is. This sister is wallahi brilliant. MashaAllah, Jazakallah. She's on point. And I keep saying this, Umadena, wallahi, needs to learn self-accountability. It's missing from the Somali community. These guys wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for us. Man, we chogi lahayn. Hadeqa biyala dan bullshit kan laga hado. Let's do something greater good for everyone, not just for one region. And let's look at things from a different perspective. But then you gotta blame ourselves. That's it.
Yeah, but I don't know if anyone else believes this, but دولة السياد برينا, yeah, it was Somali the media, then it was the
Bruv,
So when you
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a whole different topic for another day.
so when you say
Having
we
said,
brought when you say we brought this upon ourselves, I'm saying as soon as that oil was found out, they were never going to leave us alone. Same like Iraq, same
yeah, but
Syria.
again,
Right now,
oil is.
Syria's oil has been
But then
robbed.
again, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oil is obsolete. Then again, I'm not gonna lie to you. Can be whatever.
Syria's oil has been robbed now, Khaled. Syria's oil in northern Syria is being robbed now. It's going through Turkey. It's coming to Europe. Iraq's oil food for aid program. Remember, food for oil, food for oil. So we'll give you like biscuits. You give us your oil. Iran, when 96 to 79, they were robbing this oil. You know what I mean? Kuwait, all these other countries, their oil has been robbed. As soon as Somalia had that oil, I already knew. That's why those 7 countries that Bush said he's going to invade, Somalia. Remember, have you heard about that? That he said, "Oh, we're going to invade these 7 countries," and he said that like 19 something. It was in their plan, and then what? They were bombing. What was it? Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
And who killed General Aidid? Who assassinated him? The CIA, because they didn't want a military man taking over. Because the military man would have organized the whole country, you know what I mean? And he was very nationalistic. That General Aidid was very nationalistic. Do you know what I mean? He killed the UN soldiers, he killed the American soldiers, so they didn't want him. They assassinated him. But my point is, we were always under their eye. That's why Ethiopia was giving weapons to Somalia. When the Somalia conflict, when they were trying to remove Siad Barre, there was weapons was coming in to fight the Siad Barre army.
Yeah.
And Mogadishu embassy, the American embassy in Mogadishu, released weapons to the people.
Yes, cuz.
Everyone knows that, bro. Like the embassies in America and Mogadishu took out weapons and released them to the people, like Hawiya, so that they can do it. Do you know what I mean? And then the embassy people admitted it. Like the Somalis that work in the embassy admitted it. Like, oh yeah, they shipped in weapons. And it's not just but all the other countries, the strong governments, really then. Oh, and they prevented Somalia from having a government for 30 years. And how do they prevent it? By supporting both sides. So they give this side weapons, they give the other side weapons. So no side ever wins. Do you know what I mean? Whenever one side was losing, they'll give the other side more manpower, weapons, and everything. So until that we fought till a lot of people died and said, "Oh, let's stop fighting." But before that, both sides believed that they were going to win, that they were going to become the president. So they kept on fighting because they had the support from America. Do you know what I mean? So, and listen, this same tactic, they've done it all over the world. They've done it all over the world. They create conflict between people, and then
But then again, when other people, then with strong leadership, you know, when you have strong leadership, like this person saying, editor, well, like editor, Jazakallah, Monte, you're coming on fire right here. I don't know if this is a brother or sister, if you're a man or a woman. Look at the comments that
I
he's coming
agree.
up with.
Like India, like Eritrea, like China. You know, China was raped. China was raped by America, like the international elite, which is America and the UK. They raped China, but which is Chinese Mao Revolution. How many people died? 40 million. And they were fighting. What was it? The Chinese that are supported by the Americans and the UK were fighting against Mao's China. And in that conflict, 40 million Chinese died. Do you know what I mean? At least it's not that many Somalians died. But what I'm trying to say is, like, every country has to fight for its independence. And China did, Eritrea did, and what was it? Cuba did, and who else? Iraq tried, but they failed. America destroyed it when they removed Saddam, because Iraq fought back, but they destroyed them. When they invaded, Afghanistan fought back, but they destroyed them. Do you know what I mean? And they tried to install a government in Afghanistan for so many years, and they failed, and they just walked out. But they tried for 20 years to install a puppet government in Afghanistan. The Afghans said, "We're not having that. We're not having Christians ruling over us." So they kept fighting until they said, "Oh, we're going to never beat these Muslim fanatics. They're never going to give up. So let's just withdraw because we wasted nearly 2 trillion." So they gave up, and now the Afghan Emirate of Afghanistan, Islamic government, is there. And they were trying to prevent that the whole time. They were trying to create a democracy Afghan government. that listens to their orders, basically. Democracy, democracy, democracy. And when they took over Afghanistan, it went from like 3% of supplying opium, which is what you make, like heroin and cocaine. You make opium from that, innit? When they took over Afghanistan, America, Afghanistan was supplying 93% of the world's opium. So 93% of the world's cocaine and heroin was being supplied by Afghanistan. And who was making the profit? America. But before America went in, Afghanistan was only supplying 3% of the world's opium. Do you get what I mean?
You?
Yeah,
What?
man.
It's a mazza. But guys, listen, it's been 3 hours.
Yeah, man.
I gotta get to work, man. It's been nice. Like I said, boy, Hassan's in charge right now. I gotta go. It's not the same, but every Sunday we're gonna be live streaming. We're back, babies. And again, share, like, and subscribe, please. It goes a long way if you hit that like button. It goes a long way for the channel. Every Sunday we're gonna be here. We're gonna be live streaming, and we're gonna be doing interesting topics every Sunday. I can only do this once a week right now, but every Sunday, inshallah, we're going to introduce every type of topic. Every type of topic is on the table. And yeah, man, brothers and sisters, big up. Thank you guys for coming through.